It's okay. Off your mic. It's okay. She off your mic.
Chai! Now wow, people wey suppose talk truth to power don't off mic. And if we talk, now 500,000 they go summer us, call them hate speech. But fear not, my ego don't come. Ingo touchlight every corner, nooks and cranny of all these bad people where they spoil our country. So my people make we laugh, oh, yo, yo. My ego don't come, oh, yo, yo. My people make we shout, oh, yo, yo. My ego don't come, oh, yo, yo. My ego don't come, man of the masses, oh, yo, yo. My ego don't come, oh, yo, yo. My ego diary politico, yo, yo. My ego don't come, oh, yo, yo. This one not the off in mind, oh, yo, yo. My ego don't come, oh, yo, yo. And in the touchlight every corner, oh, yo, yo. My ego don't come, oh, yo, yo. Okay, some people be they holla say they want the power. Chai, them be promise us say we go get light and power. Nah. Them hustle sote they can't get the power. But now they know they do anything with the power. Every day, dollar just they get the higher power over naira. Still them talk say make we off mind. But thank God say my ego don't come. So my people make you laugh, oh, yo, yo. My ego don't come, oh, yo, yo. My people make we shout, oh, yo, yo. My ego don't come, oh, yo, yo. My ego don't come, man of the masses, oh, yo, yo. My ego don't come, oh, yo, yo. My ego diary politico, oh, yo, yo. My ego don't come, oh, yo, yo. This one not the off in mind, oh, yo, yo. My ego don't come, oh, yo, yo. Person where they do evil, no one make person talk. Them say that my yegun, that man too they talk. He too they talk. Say my yegun diary, he they hot like pepper. But every day then they take money in bulk. Woman picking, they the street they hawk. Still them talk say make we no talk. But thank God say my yegun don't come. So my people make you laugh, oh, yo, yo. My yegun don't come, oh, yo, yo. My people make you shout, oh, yo, yo. My yegun don't come, oh, yo, yo. Man of the masses, oh, yo, yo. My ego don't come, oh, yo, yo. My ego diary politico, oh, yo, yo. My ego don't come, oh, yo, yo. This man not the off in mind, oh, yo, yo. My ego don't come, oh, yo, yo.
Hello there. Orí kò sùn, àbọ̀yè bọ́ ṣiṣẹ́. Ògbó àtọ́ ẹ o. Good morning to you, good afternoon to you, and good evening to you from wherever you are watching from. This is Mayegun Live.
Àṣírí ọ̀jẹ̀lú kì í bò níbẹ̀ o. Bó bá ṣe àní Mayegun máa wí.
Thank you so much for joining me from wherever you are watching from. Of course, this is Mayegun. Share this broadcast. Invite your friends. Invite your not so friendly friends. Tell them Mayegun to today again. Share the broadcast.
Ani ẹ̀sùnra kì í.
Mayegun ti dé.
Mayegun ti dé. Ọ̀jẹ̀lú ẹ̀sùnra kì í.
Mayegun ti dé.
How is the sound on your own device? Somebody just said there is no sound. Is that true?
lórí YouTube.
Ayégun ti dé.
Àní ẹ̀sùn láìpẹ́.
Ayégun ti dé.
Ọba bá gbé wúrẹ́.
Ayégun máa bí.
Àní ẹ̀sùn láìpẹ́.
Ayégun ti dé.
Bíjó ìgbádìyẹ.
Ayégun máa bí.
Àní ẹ̀sùn láìpẹ́.
Thank you. Although we are starting late, but I promise you it's going to worth it. Like the wait. You share the broadcast.
Àní ẹ̀sùn láìpẹ́. Ọlọ́pàá ti ń darí bá. Àní ẹ̀sùn láìpẹ́.
As you are sharing this broadcast, drop your offering, which is like the broadcast. Read the caption of the broadcast. Read the description as well. Get yourself a little bit kind of familiar with what we are going to be talking about. At some point, the line will be opened. You can call in and make your own contribution too. So good evening to you once again, and then good afternoon to you from wherever you are watching from. This is Mayegun live, and as the description of this broadcast rightly read, not shocking. The Christian Association of Nigeria, they've responded to that threat from El-Rufai, Kaduna Little Finger, with what a lot of people believe is pure cowardice response. It's not new. But you see, tonight, I'm going to help us, right, understand what is really at play here, even though some criminals are bold enough to use Islam as the front for their criminal political adventure, while others are cowards, not bold enough, right? Lily-livered politicians wearing garments, calling themselves men of God, or the leaders of the Christians in Nigeria, lily-livered cowards. So I'm going to let you understand what is at play. And the popular question is, but what do you want them to do now? Say you want them to now start telling people to fight? No, hello. You will know what they need to do, but they are politicians too, and cowards. So tonight, I am going to start this conversation from there. Then we are going to go all around what has happened in the last 24 hours in Nigeria, including in politics, mostly in politics and policies. Few days ago, something that I don't think anyone else could try, no matter how crazy Nigeria has become, volatile, divided, Nigeria has become, only few people could utter some certain things in public. Some things that those who are from northern Nigeria will say. Only few people, myself, who can say whatever I like, no matter whose ox is God. Then, northerners, especially northern Islamic jihadist politicians, who are very quick to throw in and play the religious card. They are not ashamed of it. If you question it, it is going to be called an haram, and you could be killed for it. That's how serious it is. When they make a stand, when they say something, politically, if you disagree with it and you are from other part of Nigeria, it is considered as a blasphemy. So they attach their religion with their politics, and they are not ashamed of it. In fact, the rest of Nigeria will tell you, northern Nigeria, they will never vote for anybody that is not a Muslim. Like they are so proud to say it. But it is going to be all hell let loose. if you dare say, for example, Nigeria will be ruled by a Christian, by Christians only, forever, they may start killing people in northern Nigeria for just saying that. This is your opinion, oh. You have no political position or anything, oh. Just make that statement in southern Nigeria. They may start killing people in northern Nigeria, that you have offended them. Because you said Nigeria will be ruled by Christians for life. How dare you? You will begin to see all of their scholars. They'll begin to tell you, this statement can cause war. This your statement can divide Nigeria. This thing can cause problem. Blah, 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 blah. This your statement will never let the northern Nigeria trust anybody again. If you want to be president in Nigeria or anything in Nigeria, you must get the endorsement of the Islamic North. It's like it's normal, but they don't burn you well. So go out there and beat your chest and say, Christians will be, or Babalawo, all of us will not get religion like this. They don't even consider us. I've told you that many times. Me, we no get religion. I no be Christians. I no be Muslim. I no be Hindu. I no be Babalawo. I no be Mamala. I no be anything. Just my yegun. People like us, we no exist. We no even get chance, except we lie and pretend to be Muslim or Christian. Sure, you get that is the political structure of Nigeria. They said Peter Obi said 2023 election is Islamic. I mean, sorry, it's what do you call it? It's a religion war. Yeah, and the entire APC clan, Egbekegbe, people destroying people. They were running mad on that fake phone call. Altered, not fake phone call, but altered phone call, because they could pick where he said, this is a religious war. Please pray for me. Please help me talk to your people. Yes, daddy. Yes, daddy. For weeks. A lot of you bigoted animals, you use that as the reason why Nigeria dodged a bullet. That's what you said. Nigeria dodged a bullet because of a fake AI-generated phone call said, this is a religious war. Please pray for us. Please talk to your people. A lot of you want to run. You were actually running mad everywhere. I knew it. I knew it. Hey, God, yeah, blah, 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 blah. But listen, just a few days ago, El-Rufai publicly said, we lied to them. We told them this is not religious. This is not about religion. This is about capability, blah, 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 blah. But of course, it's about religion. Everybody knows that. Look at what we have done in Kaduna. Muslim ticket. Look at what we have done. The governor is Muslim. The deputy governor is Muslim. The SSG is Muslim. The speaker is Muslim. This one is Muslim. He was bragging about that. The finance minister, commissioner is Muslim. And look at what we have done in Nigeria. We repeated the same thing. He said it boldly. And everybody started speaking in tongues. I'm glad that those of you are actually real Muslims, so because I've told you this. When they born me, I know they don't born me with anything. Now, when I got to this world, they said I'd be Christian. I remember. So I was a Christian from birth to maybe about 5 or 6 months. Then I became Muslim. I was still an infant too. So I was named Abdul Rashid. Yeah. So when I turned 1 and 2 or thereabouts, I became Christian again. Kerubu and Seraphu. Afterward, I became a Muslim again, reading the Torah as well as the Quran. Then I became this stubborn boy that they felt like, he needed some deliverance. So they took me back to Christianity. Now, you know why I'm saying this to you is because to let you know that I've lived my life in these two religions. And I can tell you, until this demonstration of grace came to Nigeria, I never used to kind of be able to differentiate other than the way they pray, period. Everybody, everyone, we saw ourselves as the same thing. A lot of you grew up that way. But 1999 came, Sharia came, the politics of a religious supremacy came, Boko Haram came, and on, Nigeria continued to go through that slippery slope down the hill right before our very eyes. Today, you can tell those who have actually been all their lives fanatics, who have been waiting for an opportunity to be able to slaughter people in the name of religion. I didn't grow up that way. No, I didn't. But the likes of El-Rufai, who have managed to be in politics and in power, they have used that influence and that opportunity to entrench in furtherance of religious supremacy. And here we are. He was bragging about it in public. And a lot of you are so coward to even speak about it. The despicable things they represent. Not to talk of the danger this actually really represents. We have seen it. What do you think has been causing the killings in northern Nigeria? What do you think those who are sponsoring the killings all over Nigeria, what do you think their aim has always been about? The bloodshed, the terrorism, what do you think their aim has always been about? Religious supremacy, religion supremacy in Nigeria. And they could only do it through politics. If the likes of El-Rufai put together a group and they started preaching religious supremacy, Islam is this, Islam is that, you will call them what their name is. What? Terrorists. But they are in government. You can't call them terrorists because what? They are official terrorists. They are in government. How could you call somebody in government a terrorist? Because their policies indicates that they are terrorists. So they can mask their terrorism behind religion and then deceive you to pick up arms and fight when somebody says, these guys are Islamic fanatics and terrorists. You will pick out the Islamic out of it and say, don't insult Islam. It's the same thing with Christian Association of Nigeria. What is Christian Association of Nigeria? A political organization or a supposed organization that should speak for the Christians when it comes to their rights in Nigeria without any shame whatsoever. The Islamists in Nigeria, while we were growing up, we probably didn't know much. They took Nigeria and added Nigeria to Islamic countries. Can you believe that? And that sat well with them in Nigeria. If you dare question it, it can cause religious war. Guess who are going to threaten that war? The fanatic 12 states of northern Nigeria. 12 states. They initially, for years, they were using their Islamist madness, masked as political unity. And they call it one northern Nigeria by dragging the entire Midwest, the middle belt of Nigeria, who are majorly Christians. They drag them into what they were bragging about as one biggest northern Nigeria. And guess those who they have subjugated under religious suffocation, subjugation, and terrorism? The Christians in the middle belt part of Nigeria. Politically, one Nigeria, one big Nigeria. But religiously, everybody knows their place in that particular northern Nigeria. So Buhari came. He showed everybody their place. This is your place. This is your place. This is your place. If you pass here and there, they go show you. So we got to know that there is no one Nigeria, but many Nigerias. So what El-Rufai called advancement of Islam is actually the gradual destruction of that same Islam in Nigeria. And it is nobody's fault, but the fault of these fanatics. Because the symbol of what they represent is complete chaos, disunity, oppression, suppression, subjugation. You get what I mean? Like supremacy, dominance. This is not going to work in a multi-ethnic, multi-tribal, multi-religious country like Nigeria. It's not going to work. They don't even have the number. You might continue to deceive yourselves because it's the same way, even for you, the Christians too. Those of you who they have used Christianity to enslave in a way that logical reasoning, sensible thinking are no longer part of yours when it comes to public administration, politics generally. They turned you to prayer warriors against those who are actually arming themselves to kill you. Those who are actually killing you. You are so scared to even talk about it. I haven't seen anywhere where you will see those who you will see Muslims. They'll say, these ones are Muslims, oh. And guess what? Those standing behind them with knives, they are bishops of the crucifixion, whatever of religion in Nigeria. And then they are beheading people. I've not seen anything like that. But guess those who are actually mostly loud-mouthed, the same murderous jihadists of northern Nigeria using Islam. They are the loudest. They are those who threaten everybody. Any small thing, they would threaten you. It has become something that people are now kind of avoiding it. Hey, Yusuf, you should watch what you say. Mind what you say. In Nigeria. And that's what gave the likes of El-Rufai the audacity to say what he had to say. But what happened to your pastors? Well, listen, I'm not going to use a blanket statement here. Kudos to those who are standing up because we know enough of you that they have already been gaslighting, calling you the people who are inciting religious problem in Nigeria for simply reciprocating the gesture from the likes of El-Rufai and their likes. They call those who are non-Muslims in Nigeria infidels. Me now, where I don't get any religion, my own infidel or infidelity or whatever they call me, I am even worse than the Christians. Do you know that? All of you will not be Christians. In fact, it no matter whether you are Christians, whether you are Babalawo or Mamalawo, or you are Mayegun, we don't get religion. Trust me. According to this terrorist with political power in Nigeria, we are what? We are infidels, filth, dirty things that we only, whatever they, for our existence, for existence sake, it's all because of their own magnanimity. It's because of their benevolence. That's why you and I are alive as Nigerians in Nigeria for not being a Muslim. So therefore, El-Rufai was talking about the Muslims. When Muslims lead, they are very just. They treat people right. They obey the law. They don't steal. They don't blah, 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 blah. These terrorists was bragging that Nigeria is never going to be ruled by non-Muslim. Again, we have reciprocated it in Nigeria. Muslim ticket and Muslim dominance. And guess what the Christian Association of Nigeria leaders are saying? El-Rufai is not representing the Muslims, we know. But what are you going to do about it? Mayegun, what do you want them to say? What do you want them to do? Okay, listen. Before I go into this, okay, may I quickly tell you. The likes of El-Rufai is pandering to the jihadist Islamic scholars of northern Nigeria. They give them money to preach it to millions of people in Sharia northern Nigeria, to intimidate and threaten the people of northern Nigeria, especially the people of the middle belt part of Nigeria. Here you get. Let me give you this. Politically now, so that you can know whether you are a Christian who is just a Christian, or you are a Christian who has been enslaved and somehow under the control of those who are political. We call them pastorpreneurs. They won't fight for you. They're not fighting for anybody. But listen to this. Say if you go to, for example, me, I am from Ogun State. Okay? My parents were from Ogun State, Ijebu. Their own parents, they were also from Ijebu. But my grandparents they migrated to Lagos as far back as 20s. By 40s, they've started having their own children, offsprings. Now, listen to this. So by 50s, My own mother was born in Lagos. Remember, we are all from Ijebu, Ogun State, right? Then when we got to the 80s, my own mother gave birth to me in that same Lagos. But I'm also what? A Yoruba man from Ijebu. Okay? So if I relocate to, for example, let's say, that automatically kind of make me like a Lagos resident at the same time from Ijebu, Abi. But if you ask me, where are you from? I'll tell you, I'm an Ijebu man. You don't even have to know. You don't even have to ask much. Sure you get. Now, if it wasn't Lagos, let's say my parents moved to Ibadan and we were born in Ibadan. All that generation born in Ibadan, we still remember that we are from Ijebu. So there is no much azu other than living within, Yoruba land and all of that. Nothing much. The Ibadan people, they know themselves. Sure you get. The Oyo people, the Lagos, well, Lagos is like cosmopolitan, so don't let us use Lagos. Ondo people who know themselves there. Okay? Now, in northern Nigeria, listen to this. So this is within western Nigeria now, Yoruba land, okay? Let's say I now move to the nearest region to me, and that would be the old Midwest, which they now partly call the Niger Delta and Benin. That is the closest to Yoruba land, okay? But it's another region, right? Now, if I live in Benin or I'm living in Delta, everybody there will know that I'm a Yoruba man. Even if I become so popular, even if I want to run for whatever it is there, no, you may not be able, I may not be able to run for anything, right? Now, this is where I'm going. Politically, in northern Nigeria, you have, let me show you this on your screen. You have, you see those areas in yellow. Those are the lands where you have the Hausas, the indigenous Hausas. Those are their land, okay? And then you see those in green, the Mangas, the Kanuris. You see where they are located. So if you take a look at Nigeria map, you can picture where these states are, yeah? And then when you come to the middle, where you have the Kambari, the Bayi, the Nupe, the Debo, and all these people in this middle belt part of Nigeria, these are indigenous people there, okay? But you know what the likes of El-Rufai and their forefather did? I'll tell you. They told their people, right, to start relocating en masse to those middle belt regions. For decades now, they've been doing that, but it was for a purpose. Now, you see all the crisis you are witnessing in the middle belt of Nigeria, especially for the past 20 years. Those who they told to relocate to those regions are beginning to claim that they are indigenous people of the middle belt part of Nigeria. In case if you don't know this story. Yes, it's part of the problem. You see the Fulani terrorists that are also joining them today, killing them in the middle belt part of Nigeria. 120 people killed in Plateau State this past week. Yes, 120 people. You see, over the decades, the Hausas, the Fulanis, the Kanuris, all of them, they were politically kind of relocated, like they were going there to work, do this, farm, this and that. Then afterward, they started fighting the locals for the lands by claiming that this also belonged to them. And their political criminals like El-Rufai, they were making them realize that doing so is to help spread Islam. Meanwhile, it's got nothing to do with Islam other than using it as a cover, just dominance, feudalism. If you are from middle belt part of Nigeria, you probably will kind of tell me if I am lying with this what I just said. Clashes every now and then in the middle belt part of Nigeria. These were decades of mass migration that were deliberately put up. So, the likes of El-Rufai and gang, they would then continue to, having access to power. What have they done? they decided to start funding Islamic fanatics as preachers, as clerics. They give them money, they build them mosques, they give them everything they could get. And by so doing, they have just one job to tell every of their listener that to sustain the spread of Islam through politics and subjugation in this manner is a task that must be done. Sounding funny to you? No, it's not funny. And that is why every one of them believe that when they give power to the likes of El-Rufai, they are giving power to those who are helping spread Islam, even if they are victims of a bad governance themselves, killings and all that. While the churches are praying and preaching peace, they are not even bold enough to talk politics in their churches. I'm talking about all your big churches. They're not bold enough because the kind of society that Nigeria has created that gave room to the likes of El-Rufai to gain power and use that power through religion, manipulation, and the rest of that, has also cowed the likes of your pastors who have committed different financial crimes and so many other crimes that they would have been to jail for if Nigeria was a working country. They will be sharing the same cell with the likes of El-Rufai. Seriously. It simply means, as some believe that the likes of El-Rufai and Buhari, they were fighting for their religious survivor. Your religious leaders, your Khan, Pangoloka word, they are scared to lose the privilege they are enjoying by taming you, telling you that God has a plan for you. No matter how bad Nigeria gets, no matter how worse Nigeria become, you as a child of God, you shall prosper. This is going to be your year. This year you shall blah, 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 blahs. Taming you using religion. They couldn't even tell you to reject fanatics like that. They couldn't tell you the danger of being forced together with fanatics like that, using religion to tell people that you are an infidel in the same country you are supposed to have the same right. They told you there's going to be this something that's going to happen, and it's going to destroy all the enemies of Christianity while they are slaughtering you. Now, this is not even like in secret, right? First, I'm going to take you to Chatham House, where they were asking Kalu what he was going to do about insecurity in Nigeria. And guess who he called? Dele Alakori and El-Rufai of Kaduna. I think we should first start from here before we get to that. They can and the rest of them, then I'll take you further from there. This is Arise News, content, and the credit goes to them. They are discussing El-Rufai's bigotry.
Former Governor of Kaduna State, Nasiru El-Rufai, has been accused of wanting to set Nigeria on fire with his utterances. A chieftain of the All Progressives Congress in Plateau State, Samuel Kwamko, made the accusation after a video in which El-Rufai allegedly stated that he deceived Christians during the course of the electioneering campaigns, that the APC Muslim ticket was not for religious dominance, when in actual fact the tickets, both nationally and at the state level, were for Islamic dominance. In the video, which has since gone viral, El-Rufai is reported to have also said that the victory of Bola Ahmed Tinubu had silenced the Christian Association of Nigeria adding that he will sustain an Islamic-dominated government for 20 years and unending, not only in Kaduna State, but in Nigeria at large. Kwamko, who is also a former national director of the Christian Association of Nigeria, while reacting to El-Rufai's comments, expressed disappointment at his classification of citizens of his state as them versus us, which to him meant that the former governor cannot be exonerated from the wanton killings, demolition of houses, and places of worship of Christians in Kaduna. Well, let's take a listen to a short clip of that video before we come back for a discussion.
Duk da taron dangin da aka yi, duk da addini da aka yi amfani da shi, Allah ya ba Asiwaju nasara. Abinda muka samu muka yi a Kaduna yanzu an yi shi a ƙasa gaba daya. Babu wani makaryaci da zai zo ya ce, zai fito ya ce shi zai yi siyasa na Kiristanci ya ci zaɓe. Peter Obi ya yi ga inda yake. An yi maganin wannan, dole suka yi shuru. Tun da Asiwaju ya ci zaɓe, kan tsit. To da haka ne za a samu zaman lafiya a ƙasar nan. To shi ma ka gani aka sake, aka ƙara, sai komi sai ya... Wallahi abinda muka yi kenan, kuma ni da wasu daga cikin mu a ganin mu mun gama aikin.
This has caused a huge debate on social media as well, but let me take a tweet before I take your comment. This person wrote, "It is really disappointing for El-Rufai to brag about religion in a country that is trying to heal. What is the point of the speech? What point is he trying to prove in an election that was clearly questionable? The APC, tell your man not to sow seed of discord in this country." Over to you.
This is a tough one for me. I schooled in Kaduna, went to Sultan Bello Primary School. I went to FGC Kano. A number of my friends will refer to me as Dangarewa, Dankano, and things like that. I speak Hausa, and
I didn't know that.
Yes, I speak Hausa. I went to school in Kano. My school was just next to Serkin Zazau's palace, Sultan Bello Primary School. And when I look at this, when I listen to that tape, I am just praying, please God, let Mala Nasiru come out and say, no, this was doctored, that this is not him, this is not true.
Yeah, I waited 2 days to take the story.
I've been waiting for that to happen,
trending.
but it hasn't happened. And I will reach out to him at some point over the next day or two, because I've known Nasir El-Rufai from the days when I was living in England. I came back in 2011, and I still say I know him fairly well. This is the same man that has a Yoruba man as his spokesperson, Muyiwa Adekaye. This is the same man that has a lot of friends in Lagos, all over the country. He has a lot of friends who are Igbo, who are Hausa, who are Christians, who are Muslims. This man that I'm seeing in this video, I honestly don't recognize. I don't recognize this person. I don't know what has happened. I don't know the reason why he will speak in this.
Now, so they're going to talk when they want to be politically correct. Oh, I'm so surprised. I'm so shocked that, I can't believe what I just heard. Oh, I can't believe he said, Abba. You can't believe. Or you can't tell the truth. You get what I mean? Listen to the chairman of Christian Association of Nigeria too. Just the tone.
Let me put it this way. El-Rufai is fond of making these allegations and then turn out to water it down. In 2015, after the election, El-Rufai said in one of the television interviews that actually the Christian Southern Kaduna did not vote for him. Personally, I did not talk to him on phone. I went and sat one-on-one on him. Then I was in the CAN chairman and I confronted him. I gave him just 3 examples. One, in Jamaa local government of Kaduna State, the total vote cast that year was 86,000 votes. El-Rufai got 39,600, and the PDP candidate of that year got 40,000 or 40-something thousand 900. And I put it up to him. Why will you say that you didn't get the vote? And he apologized to me, and I said, truly, I got 47.8% of their vote. You can see the requirement he needed was just 25%, but he got over 47%. I even went further to tell him, Kachia local government, the total vote cast was around 60-something thousand. The difference between you and the other candidate was just 1,000 votes. So you got almost 49,000. He admitted it is true. In Sanga local, Kagarko local government, you even got that local government. And I went further to tell him about Kauru and others. And that ended the argument and the lies that he didn't get Christian votes. Even in 2029, because the requirement of the law is that you need to have 25% in two-thirds or one-third of the local governments. And he couldn't have gotten that without the local governments of Christians. But you see, I need to let Nigerians know, we have ever played this religious card. People are pretending I don't want to speak about it. Buhari, in all the 3 initial attempts he had to be president, played all these games, and it never worked on him. But because he had played that game, then he went into alliance with other political parties and eventually became president. El-Rufai is living in that dream that he could play this religious game and possibly also tomorrow become the president of Nigeria. And Nigerians are. So it's not the matter whether people are angry or whether the statements are weighty. El-Rufai is just talking about himself. El-Rufai has no respect for Islam. El-Rufai has no respect for even Islamic clerics. El-Rufai is just doing everything for himself to get what he wants and not about the religion and not about the people. And 2, El-Rufai is deliberately also setting a trap and setting a slippery ground for Bola Tinubu, because the moment these things became heated, then people will go to Bola Tinubu, but we know the difference between El-Rufai and Bola Tinubu and others. So I don't think there's anything Christian Association of Nigeria never for once, to my knowledge, announced that Christians should vote for Peter Obi, that Peter Obi is a Christian candidate. Nowhere. They were the same people buying young people, planting lies. I can give you an example. Reverend Hayab, right. I met with pastors and I analyzed the political situations with them before the election. Before I knew what was happening on social media, it was announced. Fortunately for me, it was announced positively that I said Christians should not even vote for Peter Obi. But I know how they were trying to misquote other Christian leaders to give a picture as if Christians were asking Christians to, if Christians had really asked Christians to vote a Christian candidate, the result of this election cannot be what it is now. But you know, since he's up to something.
It is smoke Igbo. It is taking Indian.
Do you know that there are so many truths in what he said, but there are also so many capping too. But the last statement where he said, if the Christian leaders, if they told Christians to vote for a candidate in Nigeria, Tinubu won't win. That is 100% true. But they are cowards. Do you get that? I mean, it's not even just northern Muslims that were paid to publicly tell people. Some even went as far as threatening people that this is a jihad. But you see your coward religious or Christian leaders, like he is capping in that statement he was making. Capping, that's exactly what it is. Lloyd. Trying to pander, to be nice, you know what I mean? But at the same time, trying to make you think, oh, don't take it serious. Oh, he's just El-Rufai. That's exactly what he does. He's just talking about himself. He thinks he will become president one day, so don't listen to him. That's him trying to tell you to calm down. It's not serious. But guess what? When the likes of El-Rufai the people El-Rufai was addressing, it was telling them that we've delivered phase 1, and we will go further. That's to tell them that all you did when you told people that this is a jihad, it worked. So we're going to continue like that. But that is his last statement where he said, if Christian leaders said the Christians should vote for Peter Obi, 100% is true, is right about that. Not that all of you Christians will vote for Peter Obi, but did you see where that religious card that they love to play? Do you see how it doesn't really, it's not really about it per se, but just for pandering to their base. Christians in Kaduna, despite all the killings, burning and all of that, they still gave El-Rufai over 40% of their votes. to continue. But yet, the likes of El-Rufai, who took the vote of infidels to win the Muslim ticket that he's bragging about, he doesn't see them as anything. He didn't see anything they did as anything, because what is the vote of infidel? That's exactly how they see all of you who are either Christians or you are Southerner or Igbo in APC, Egbekegbe. Whenever they want to take their dig against you, the Southerners, they will forget the fact that a lot of you are those who made them come to power. When they want to batch the Igbos, attack them and use them as their toothpick. All of you who are Igbos in APC, I have asked you many times, how do you actually feel every now and then when this guy comes? Because you mean nothing to them. You're just lakunjo. Yemi for I mean, we're not bara, we're not buru. Show ya lakunjo rile. Yani lakunjo. You know lakunjo? Lakunjo are those that will say, we need crowd to fill up this place. Because we have some people coming and they just bring everybody. The number is not enough. Go to that street and see if you can see another people wandering about. Bring them inside to fill up this place. That's exactly who you are in their scheme or whatever agenda, madness agenda they have that would never actually work. Now, when they talk about Islamization, one mistake and error a lot of you are making is this. You think, Islamization of these criminals is to turn you to Muslim. How naive are you? That you think their Islamization agenda is to turn you to Muslim or what? No. They've already managed in their mind, as Nigeria is, they control the institutions and they need more. Once they took over all the institutions and they entrench this mentality, like El-Rufai said, for the next 20 years, now you go come out for Nigeria, you go find another place. Or you go and submit yourself and say, it doesn't matter where you come from. Institutional capture, which is state capture, which is what you have right now. When Kalu was at Chatham House in London, some people were asking him questions, if you remember, December 2022. That was last year, wasn't it? El-Rufai, Tinubu said El-Rufai would answer question on security. What Tinubu would do about security. The man that is the Boko Haram sponsor, El-Rufai, will be in charge of Nigeria security under Tinubu. So here is what he had to say. Let's first hear that of Dele Alakori. We were asking. And I think this was one of the moments when they thought that El-Rufai would be the chief of staff to Tinubu if he won. If he wins, and then or he's going to be your secretary to the government of Nigeria, secretary to the government of the Federation. And he can use the opportunity. First, it will be the fight between Shittiman and Tinubu. Then the entire cabinet. And before you know it, it will explode. But like that guy said, the camp chairman or the camp president, El-Rufai is using the same template of Buhari, jihadist mentality, murderers, kill them, fanatism. This is what CPC represented. Sharia law, Sharia rule, until they brought you a Sharia judge to become the Chief Justice of Nigeria. This was the moment they thought El-Rufai was going to become your secretary or something big inside the Tinubu's government. So far, so good. He never take any serious thing yet. Unless then bring and come be the chairman, a DSS director, or minister of Abuja, or any waiting the film can do again, where him feel wreck havoc with his jihadist mentality. El-Rufai brought in Fulani terrorists to Nigeria. He bragged about it publicly. And then in London, is giving an idea of how to combat insecurity in Nigeria. Let me hear the Daily Alakori first. This one think is talking to bloggers, where he's kind of giving motivational speeches. Listen.
Yeah, thank you. Go ahead.
Let me once demonstrate here. One of those philosophers and one of the doctrine that I believe firmly in is teamship. Unbreakable team. To demonstrate that, I will choose the first question, assign it to Dele Alake.
Okay.
And the second question, assign to Nasiru El-Rufai. And third question, assigned to Ben Ayade.
All right, so can we have microphone coming in the front? And the first question is about blood oil. Oil. There, this gentleman. There. Yeah, El-Rufai, I can see him. Yeah. Please go ahead.
Security, Nasiru El-Rufai.
Yes, thank you very much for that. Now, the issue of oil theft in Nigeria is as deep-seated, and it's been long-standing. It's been there. It's not a new development, as we all know. It's been there for decades, and then we discover the various dimensions daily. Now, the incoming administration, by the grace of God, of Bola Ahmed Tinubu, has devised some novelties in terms of strategies. First of all, to combat oil theft is tied to the security situation of Nigeria. Now, the questioner has linked it with connivance with the security agencies. Now, the Bola Ahmed Tinubu administration has a three-pronged approach to this. In terms of regenerating, revamping, and recalibrating the security equipment, technology, that's one. The human angle, in terms of the size of the security too. Today we have over 200 million people, and there's no way the current strength of our security agencies can adequately cope with the gargantuan and enormous problems of security, securing lives and property. So the personnel of all the security or coercive agencies will be increased to cope with the large population of Nigeria. That's another dimension. The third dimension is really employing state-of-the-art technology like drones. We know today that there is, in terms of kidnapping, in terms of even identify the oil theft and the oil pipelines, the illegal pipelines that have been rigged, that have been embedded in the ground for years. You cannot but employ technology like drones to pinpoint the actual spots where these things are. And this has already started. The current administration actually is making very good strides in this respect. They've been unearthing and discovering and arresting, apprehending the culprits in charge of all. So this will be intensified. It will continue and actually be taken to a higher level, such that in the first 6 months of the Bola Ahmed Tinubu administration, oil theft will not only be reduced tremendously, the goal is to stop it in its entirety. I think that's all.
Excuse me. That does not mean a departure from the present administration. The classification, a theft and a receiver exists. So you have to classify the receiver as taking blood money.
I remember those days. Listen, in addition, as a receiver, it's a giver, and all of that. I say, very, very intelligent. Yes. Man. Anyway, so they were praising Buhari then. They go soon swear for him. They don't prepare how to put Buhari and his people on the burner to cook them very soon. You've heard that of here Nigeria, Abi. It sound like they bring the problem of this is gangantua. Here where Dele Alakori was talking about recalibrating, redesigning, reconfiguring as you see, buzzword. So wait for that of El-Rufai talking about security. Okay, you, El-Rufai, the little Hitler of Kaduna. Oh yeah.
Mr. Alex Vines, ladies and gentlemen, security has been a big issue in Nigeria in the last few years, and that has affected not only rural economies, but agricultural production, commerce, and everything else. The Bola Tinubu administration will address these challenges, or whatever remains of it, after the efforts of this administration in at least 3 ways. First, policing. Nigeria has about 300,000 policemen for a population of over 200 million. We need at least twice that number. That will be achieved by amending the Constitution so that policing can be at federal, state, and even at community levels. With increased security footprint, there will be less and less of criminal activity. The second step is to look at our armed forces and security architecture. Nigerian armed forces are not more than 200,000 in size, the Army, Navy, the Air Force. While some countries are even looking at a space military, we are struggling with just less than 200,000 members of the armed forces for a country with a population of 200 million plus. The numbers, the equipment, the skills, and the training of the armed forces will be scaled up, will be increased rapidly to meet the asymmetric nature of the security challenges that we face. Because today, the armed forces are not fighting with other countries, they are fighting with non-state actors, and the doctrine, the training, the numbers must change. And the Bola Tinubu administration already has a blueprint which is embedded in our action plan to address this. We'll scale up the numbers of the armed forces, we'll ramp up not only the numbers, but the training and equipment. In Nigeria, in 1967, the total size of the Nigerian army was only 10,000. Because of the civil war, within a year, we ramped it up to 250,000. So it can be done. And what we are facing in Nigeria today, banditry, terrorism, separatism, and oil theft, requires a new approach towards security, enhancing the numbers, providing enhanced technology, and collaborating with the rest of the world to ensure that our country is not only internally safe, but not a threat to our neighbors. Thirdly, the issue of proliferation of small arms. Following the collapse of Libya due to no fault of ours, will have to be addressed through collaboration with countries like Mali, Niger, Sudan, and Chad, and so on and so forth. This we have already started, but this will be deepened and broadened under the leadership of a new security team under the Bola Ahmed Tinubu administration by the special grace of God. Thank you.
Thank you.
We are competing with armed robbers and the bandits to recruit from the youths who are unemployed. 33% unemployed. recruit 50 million youths into the army and the other thing. Take away from their recruitment source. What they will eat? Cassava, agbado, corn, and the morning, yam in the afternoon. It's growing here. You create demand and consumption.
So that was El-Rufai in London. I bet it was probably just smiling inside as he was making that nonsensical response to that question at Chatham House. It probably was, it's like a terrorist coming to give you an idea of how to be safe. Kaduna State housed all of the security institution in Nigeria. Like, they have their base in Kaduna. Military training college, police training college, Jaji. Oh no, sorry, that one is not there, yeah? All of the Nigeria security system, all of them, they have their headquarters in Kaduna. But yet, the terrorists that have killed thousands of people in Kaduna and down straight to the middle belt part of Nigeria, they have been living a life of the kingdom the likes of El-Rufai promised them, where they can do whatever they want and they will never be held responsible as long as they have power. So it was probably a shocker to them when they heard that El-Rufai won't be, what do you call it, the SGF, Secretary to the Government, right? Or he's not going to be, maybe they will make him Minister of Defense. Some said that Kwakwanso could be your Minister of Defense. See, your own problems. But today, Kalu sworn in Judge Akume as the Nigeria's Secretary to the Government of the Federation. Egbadurao. So here is what happened today.
Please keep standing and recite the national anthem. You may be seated, please. Akume, former executive governor of Benue State, attended their native authority primary school, Wanuri, the former government secondary school, Kotobi, now Model Science School, Kotobo, and St. Louis College for his advanced level in 1973. He thereafter proceeded to the premier university, the University of Ibadan, for his Bachelor of Science degree in sociology in 1978, and a master's degree in industrial and labor relations from the same university. He also obtained certificates in leadership and management from the Administrative Staff College of Nigeria, ASCOM, Topography, from the Oxford University in the United Kingdom, and from the Queen's University in Ontario, Canada. Senator John Akume started work as a land officer with the Benue State Civil Service in 1979. He held several positions at various times as Assistant Secretary, Research and Policy Analysis in the Governor's Office, Principal Secretary, Under Secretary, and Director of Personnel Management. Do solemnly swear that I will be faithful and bear true allegiance to the Federal Republic of Nigeria, and that I will preserve, protect, and defend the laws of the Federal Republic of Nigeria.
So help me God. As Secretary to the Government of the Federation, I will discharge my duties to the best of my ability, faithfully and in accordance with the Constitution of the Federal Republic of Nigeria and the law, and always in the interest of the sovereignty, integrity, solidarity, well-being, and prosperity of the Federal Republic of Nigeria. That I will strive to preserve the fundamental objectives and directive principles of state policy contained in the Constitution of the Federal Republic of Nigeria.
Your new secretary to the government of the Federation. Remember, it took Buhari 2 months before he finally announced Babashir Lawal, the grass cutter, the man that used 240 million naira to cut grass around the abandoned primary school where the victims of Boko Haram, were kind of staying. They were living in a sort of an abandoned school. And according to this new secretary to the government of the Federation, Babashir Lawal, they spent 240 million naira to clear the grass around there because the camp was being attacked by snakes. Or those who are living in that abandoned schools, those who are the victims of this Boko Haram stuff then, they were begging on the streets to survive. 2 months after Buhari came in. A lot of story. So here is your new one. And his name is George Akume, the former governor of Benue, former senator from Benue, former special duties minister to Buhari for 8 years, and your new SGF. Did they follow the list? Some are saying that they are happy that it is not El-Rufai. What is the difference between 6 and 7? 1, Abi. Maybe not that much difference, right? These people are already celebrating. It is our turn.
Maybe look here. Thank you. Let it go. It's okay. Very good. Come, sir. Should be in the evening.
Over 200 million Nigeria. It's a challenge to serve in line with the oath I have taken today, a few minutes ago. I assure Nigerians I will do my best. I will not disappoint the president. I will not disappoint this country. I will not disappoint my party. I believe Nigerians will find fulfillment in my responsibilities as I discharge them in their own interest. So I want to thank you for that.
So we can see you are having a kind of tear of joy. Does it represent the kind of challenge you are looking ahead?
I say it is an honor to serve your country. And so one has to show this sign of joy. And I'm strongly persuaded that, guided by Almighty God, I will do my best, and Nigerians will really have to reap the dividends of democracy. I am someone who has been on the scene for quite some time. And if you know the man we are serving, Asiwaju Bola Ahmed Tinubu as president, you just have to follow his footsteps. He has never been in the gallery. You know, the galleries, according to Roosevelt, are full of critics. He has always been in the arena, down in the arena, according to Roosevelt, at the doors. He's always a doer. And so we have to tag along. We must never afford to fail. Thank you very much. Thank you.
What does this mean for your state?
Quite enormous joy.
Just look to the camera, please. Go ahead.
It's a factor of exaltation. Out of the many states, Benue is chosen, and it's one of our sons whom we're all proud of. We know his requisite. We know what he has offered in the past many decades for the state and for the nation. We're very confident, too confident, that he's also going to deliver, and the nation is going to be proud that our choicest man from the state is selected and sworn in for this great job.
Thank you so much. Today, your husband has just been sworn in as a secretary to the government of the Federation.
Wonderful. It's been wonderful. I appreciate God for all that He has done to us. Words cannot express how happy I am. I'm here with my son and my friend. They know how I feel. I'm so thankful to the president.
What kind of commitment to service? You know your husband, you've been with him all the while from through his political career and all of that. What kind of commitment to service would you say Nigerians should expect from him?
My husband is a very hard-working man, very humble, kind, compassionate. He relates with people very well.
Yes, and he's a thief as well. Sorry if you are from Benue, because I know some of you may probably want to catch feelings now, okay? It's not different from Kolu. It's not different from the rest of them. And look at her. They've been in the in politics since 1999. Nigeria has been very good to them. Even now that they are getting older, there is more to come. My husband relates with people because he's a cheerful giver, philanthropist, a thief. Yes, I said it. However, when he arrived at his new office. Now, let me tell you something about all these offices, in case if you don't know, and how much of them are just there to further make your life hell. Now, it's up to you. Nigeria currently have 13 aircrafts. Okay, 8 of them, they are proper presidential jets. The other 4, they are just shoppers. Shoppers that could take them anywhere, anytime and all that. President, vice president and all that. Now you see all those 8 planes. The first one, they reserved 2 for the president and his family. They reserved 1 for the vice president. They reserved 1 for the SGF, secretary to the government. They reserved 1 for the Senate president. They reserved 1, Senate president and his family and his friends. They reserved 1 for the speaker and his own family and his friends. Okay? Just like cars, they assigned them. Then they reserved one for the service chiefs and all of them who might want to kind of flange and fly the presidential jet. And every year, it cost Nigeria over 7 trillion naira to service those 12, aircrafts. A broke country. So tell me. So even if you're not president, or even if you become Senate president, I'll be an appointment, they make you chief of staff or make you GF. Aba, you go do Thanksgiving. Trust me. And well, he arrived at his office, and this is how he was welcomed for the optics.
I keep phone.
You know the thing is a miracle working God. Thank you, Jesus. It's a miracle work. Because now miracle, now God do have. Hey, now God, miracle. Oh, thank God, it's our turn, it's our shot. God is so great. God is so mercy. Now everybody where they go still get appointments under under Tinubu. They are also going to go to their church and their mosque to go and say it's a miracle working God. They will dance, they will do all of that. You think now for good thing, 4 years after that, they will leave you poorer. They will be richer. Thieves. Then they will then go back to the same place and then they will donate money for building, money for harvesting, money for this and that. And they will give them the front row seats. They will sit down there and they will be doing Thanksgiving that 4 years after they went alive, they came out alive, and God has been so good to them. Is that not a miracle? Again, is a miracle. Nonsense people. Mad people everywhere. You know the thing? Because that's how one sheikh, the way that gave you Nigeria here for drawing. They say, where is Nigeria? What is Nigeria here? You show them the drawing and say, this is it. The way you will know that your criminal leaders have no kind of any, they don't even know if there is God, but you are too dumb to be standing up. To always be standing up for them, saying God is God. That you are so, people are so dumb that it is kind of worrying. I don't know how you see it. Be worried that how could people be so dumb to be using God in defending these rogues? These rogues, they don't know God. When it comes to them doing all the evil things they have been doing, they don't care about God. Tell me, where in Quran or in the Bible, they said it is good to steal, to scheme, to lie. In fact, to begin to believe your lie. Where is it in the Bible and the Quran? Nowhere. Even a Jogbe. No, not a Jogbe. What is that SFA? That SFA that allow you to steal. They go tell you, say, about you be, don't waste your time.
Your career is to be armed robber. Yeah, there are SFR like that. I'm going to go and remember them now. I'm going to try and remember that SFR. No, not that one. I'll come back to that. You know that. I don't know if you have that in the Bible or in the Quran. But if you go through the traditional means, SFA, if they tell you, if they do like this, and they say, Ogundabede olórí olè. Man for le jami o. Man ko le jami o. Ogundabede ibami re o. Now the babalawo go dey praise you and say, Anini, Shinorambo, Tinubu, hey, Buhari. Your career not to be armed robber. No good thing say you won't go school, go study anything. But there's nothing like that in the Bible or your Quran. But somebody called Adisirika scammed 200 million people. And he didn't actually feel like he's going to hellfire. Jan no more. Here you get. All this why that we are saying that where is Nigeria here? Where is Nigeria here? Omo. The man appointed the GM, general manager for Nigeria here. Collecting salary. He no get office, he no get anything, he's the GM. You won't believe it. Okay, you believe it because it's true. They are paying the guy. They say he's the general manager of where are your staffs? Where is your office? What is your contact? How did you come by Nigeria here? They say, okay, fine. You don't catch me. There's nothing like Nigeria here. Now fraud. Now just small scheme where we put together and then we cash out. Here you get. The normal but now 5 stages. If you want to start the airline, now 5 stages. Now from first stage, they don't cancel us. Okay? You said what? I said you don't catch us. Me will tell you the truth. I'll show you the video. You know what they did? There is no Nigeria here. It was haphazardly put together, fraudulently put together, that even Nigeria, as corrupt as Nigeria is, Nigeria agency that is in charge of issuing license to people to say, okay, you have passed stage 1. They said if you want to set up airline in Nigeria, if you fast track it, it will take you 2 years before you can get all the certification to start. Start looking for office, start looking for this, recruitment and training and pilot and all that. Here you get. And if you want to get that certificate, it will take you 2 years. And at least you must have like 5 aircrafts. Minimum of 5, maximum of 100. Not maximum of 100 and above. These are the conditions. Adisirika, who happened to be the Minister of Aviation, the one that is supervising the agency that issue licenses for people to start airline, safety and all of that, he put together a fraud. Agency in the ministry rejected the Nigeria Air as a fraud from stage 1, the simplest stage. Simplest. I'll go see if I still get that thing. I'll read that to you. Get why they tell you all these things, because if you think some educated people cannot be scammed, no, you have not visited Nigeria. If you go to Nigeria, you will see educated people parroting nonsense with all of their strength and might. And the moment the truth comes out, their shearies will disappear, or they will begin to gaslight you by saying, it's your fault now. Shebi you people no one make them do them before. Shebi you people have always been saying blah, 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 blah. As if to say now you collected 139 billion and promised them aircraft. They said this is the letter. I'm sorry that I didn't put that on the screen for you. Okay? I don't know if my camera can scan it and show you, but it doesn't matter. I'll read it to you. The Nigerian Civil Aviation Authority, they wrote them this letter, okay? And guess when this letter was returned to them just this month in June. Remember when they have started talking about Nigeria here since 2017. By 2018, they started the launch and the journey of the looting begun. Now, they said, the authority is in receipt of your letter dated 25th of May, 2023, on the above subject, which is response, that's reply to request to proceed to phase 2 of AOC certification. Mail 3 days before the end of Buhari's government. Adis Sirika is Minister of Aviation, who has been telling the mumus who are saying Nigeria here will fly. Fly away, Peter, fly away, Paul. Come back, Peter, come back, Paul. Now, the poem that they take Nigeria here do now. 5 years deceit, 3 days to the end of their murderous regime. This guy wrote a letter to say, can we go to phase 2? And they responded, the authority is in receipt, blah, blah, blah. Quite contrary to our earlier letter of 16th May, 2023, which enumerated the documents to be submitted with the formal application form OPS 002. Your letter of request to proceed to phase 2 has no inclusion of a formal application form and the necessary documents referenced in the formal application form. Hence, the certification process cannot progress to phase 2 without this required document. Please be reminded that your post orders letters of commitment to Nigeria here has a tenure of 3 months and as such expires now. Please be reminded, accept the assurance of our highest regards. CPM Captain Oho Lawan, CPM Nigeria Air Limited for Director General Civil Aviation, blah, 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 blah. But look at all these stages. So the process of obtaining the all-important AOC certificates to start a airline. Imagine somebody like me having to say, somebody who was in charge of aviation ministry in Nigeria didn't know the process or procedures of setting up a airline. But he went to town with it anyway. And the media, some media were actually backing them up with the lies. And the influencers on social media, the Olori Brukus that usually disappear, those ones who actually feed you with debt and nonsense. And then they gaslight you if you begin to ask questions. They will say, oh, you are enemy, you are this, shut up your mouth. You don't want Nigeria to progress because you're asking questions. The moment the truth comes out and the shit hit the fan, they disappear. You don't just start your line. But these wearies were not planning to set up your line. They were planning. They planned from the word go to scheme and steal. And that's exactly what they did. And they should have started arresting them by now. Picking them up. 139 billion naira gone. Just like that. Now, listen to the stages. So, if you want to start your line in Nigeria, the first stage, stage 1, which Adis Sirika couldn't even pass. And the APC, Egbekegbe, the Buhari Dins, Buhari Diderins, the Buhari Denotus, Buhari Dijatus, the Buhari Shuku, Sungu Ziari, Sunnekaris, ombuds, slaves, sophisticated morons, and the rest. Gaslighting you. Ordinary first stage, the simplest one. The Alimajiri jihadist Sirika under Buhari, fraudulent Buhari, couldn't pass it. So Nigeria here is dead, but Nigeria here has a manager. You're going to hear from him soon. So stage 1 is the pre-application phase where the NCAA will appoint a certification team and process the application statement of intent form called AC OPS 001. In this stage, discussions on all regulatory requirements, the formal applications and attachments, and any other related issues will take place. This is usually a week's process. Just 1 week, they'll get that done. It doesn't take much. That's the one they couldn't do in 5 years. Stage 2 involves a formal application for intending entrance, where documents and manuals, including the curricula vitae of key management personnel, must be submitted for evaluation. The minimum time frame for the formal application phase is 2 weeks. The second stage, as said in this text, is where you submit the CV of all those who are going to be the management, the staff and all that stuff that are going to be in charge of all the, you know what I mean? The staff of the airline, directors and the rest. You submit that, and once they pass that stage, right, you go to the third one. Stage 3 involves document evaluation, where the NCAA will review the applicant's manuals and other related documents and attachments to ensure conformity with the applicable regulations and safe operating practices. The minimum time frame for the document evaluation phase is 3 months. That's the stage 3, 3 months. Then the next one, which is stage 4, that one is demonstration and inspection. This is a key stage of the process, carried out only after a satisfactory documentation evaluation phase. In this stage, a thorough audit by the certification team at the applicant's premises will be conducted to ensure that the proposed procedures are effective and that the applicant's facilities and equipment meet the NCAA regulatory requirements. This is now like physical inspection. The office, the equipment includes the planes, the aircraft you want to use for your business, where you are keeping them, what's the maintenance process, the documentations, and everything they need to see physically. Okay, that's the stage 4. So they said also in this stage, other demonstrations like emergency evacuation and ditching will be carried out. And after successes in these exercises, a demonstration flight will be carried out. The minimum time frame for the demonstration and inspection phase is 2 months. Do you get that? After confirming that you have all it takes to be an airline, yeah, then they will carry out equipment inspection like flights. Okay, show us if there is any emergency. How do you evacuate people? Which means you must have done years of training of your personnel to even get to this stage, stage 4. Now, the 5th stage, which is the final stage of establishing a airline, is certification. And this means once the airline has met the regulatory requirements of the civil aviation, which is air navigation regulation, the NCAA will issue the AOC with the appropriate specifications and ratings. Now, the minimum time frame for the certification phase is 1 week. And after the issuance of the AOC, the applicant can engage in commercial aviation activities in Nigeria. Those are the 5 stages. And you would expect somebody who is the aviation minister to know all of this. And you probably would have thought that they've completed all of this for them to even come out and say they want to start airline. In 2014, 2015, APC, on this street, on social media, they told people, they said that the presidency of Nigeria has over 12 aircrafts, and there are not even like emergency choppers for the emergency workers in Nigeria, like the health workers, like the police. So they said, to cut waste, the moment Buhari gets to power, 1, they were going to sell off all the presidential jets. It's a waste, and save money, right? That's what they said. ladies and gentlemen, before these criminals came in, on record, Nigeria was spending under the corrupt government of Egbere Jolantan, as they made you believe. Nigeria was spending about, 800, 700 billion maintaining the national, maintaining the presidential fleet. Immediately, these criminals came in, like everything else, subsidy and all that. The maintenance for the Nigerian presidential fleet first jumped to 1.2 trillion in 2016. By 2017, they were already budgeting 3.5 trillion to maintain the presidential fleet. It actually was a scandal then that they started reminding them that, but you told us you were going to sell all this off to cut costs and save money. What is going on? Why are you spending more? It was Femi Adesina who came out to defend it. That at least it's not Buhari who bought all the jets. He met them. It's not Buhari that is spending the money. There's already, there's already people who are managing and maintaining the presidential fleet and presidential jets. So nobody can just tell Buhari. In fact, at the time, when the pressure was so much, they were spending 7 trillion naira to maintain the presidential fleet in Nigeria. 7 trillion. Now, at that point, Garbage Shehu said the Buhari has already given them the order to sell the presidential jet to make you feel like they were going to sell them. Remember that time? Of course, that happened. Honestly, they started putting the pictures of a presidential jet they want to sell online, but they said nobody was buying. So therefore, Buhari's daughter was actually flying one herself. They assigned it to her. She could fly anywhere and just go and take pictures. She graduated as a photographer in London, right? And to practice what she learned, they gave her one private jet, one presidential jet in Nigeria. She could go everywhere. Yes, that happened. There are photos of it on social media. No joke. So the point here is this. It's always been, right, the same. And if they couldn't convert their own private jets and the rest of that to Nigeria Air, if corruption couldn't take back those who used your stolen money to buy private jets for themselves, they are parked all over your tarmacs, all over your airports in Nigeria. A serious government knows the source of all this funding. The money launderers who decided to divert their loot into buying private jets and then opening up PJ businesses in Nigeria. You could convert them and turn them to Nigeria, but fine. Start with the presidential jets. Don't go to Ethiopia and start making a deal. I mean, even if you're going to make it, they even told me, they said, they made a deal with Ethiopia here. Ethiopia here is buying 70% shares of Nigeria Air. How could Ethiopia Air buy shares in a company that doesn't exist? You can't start a company when you don't have the license to actually be a company. You can't negotiate with everything you probably put out there was fraud. And yeah, it's the man who is the manager of a non-existing Nigeria Air. Listen to him.
These are officials of the Ministry of Aviation and the interim management of Nigeria Air. They are before the Senate Committee on Aviation to answer questions on the status of the nation's national carrier, Nigeria Air, which was unveiled during the twilight of the Buhari administration. But questions have been raised about the whereabouts of the aircraft and the status of the airline after some Nigerians traced the aircraft, noting that it returned to Ethiopian Airlines service. These senators have strong words for the representatives of the Aviation Ministry over the manner Nigeria Air was launched.
The Nigeria Air project. The issue was shrouded in secrecy to the extent that it was fraudulently displayed as a new national carrier, contrary to the extant court order and international rules that strictly guided airline operations. This indeed was an embarrassment to the committee.
Why will you, for whatever reason, having an interim MD, be in a hurry to unveil a national carrier on the last day of your administration? Why?
But the interim managing director, Nigeria Air, says the airline was unveiled at the time it was to prove to Nigerians that the project is not a fluke.
The aircraft that came in and left was a legitimate charter flight. You see, ever since 2018, all you'd ever seen about Nigeria Air aircraft were pictures, drawings, not the real aircraft. And We felt it was time to show what the real aircraft would look like.
Was it reasonably necessary? You know, you have to take this to take taxpayers' money and charter an aircraft all the way from Ethiopia to come here and for unveiling. If the purpose is just to show Nigerians how the aircraft is going to. We have had the pictures on social media when it was unveiled in Fambro.
He also clarifies what he says are misconceptions of the status of a national carrier.
We haven't got a license yet to operate. If you had asked me the question, I could, not you, I mean, if the social media had asked me the question, I would have said, we haven't got to that stage yet. We are not at the point of operating the airline yet, at all.
The representatives from the Aviation Ministry and Nigeria Air then proceed to the House of Representatives to meet with the lower chambers Aviation Committee. The committee chairman says members do not support the launch of the airline because of a lack of supporting and necessary documents.
We are not part of the launch and we do not support the launch, especially at a time issues are yet to be cleared. The committee hereby resolved to 1. Direct the Federal Ministry of Aviation and its partners in the Nigerian Air project to immediately suspend any operations regarding to Nigerian Air and every other actions with respect to Nigerian Air.
The committee further advises that the Federal Ministry of Aviation
fraud. They went to Ethiopia and chartered a plane just to show Nigerians what Nigeria here will look like. Can you even believe that? You watching me, if you are one of them who called me and people like me enemies of Nigeria 5 years ago, how do you feel now? Who do you think is the enemy of Nigeria now? When 5 years ago, the day they first showed that logo, I may not be an investigative journalist, but go back and search my videos, all right? As far back as 2018, and check what Mayegun said about Nigeria here. It was like, Mayegun, at least give them time. At least, you know, you called me enemy of Nigeria for telling you from the word go. This doesn't make any sense. Fraud, scam. A lot of you were saying, Oju Elomashe, God will shame you, you this Mayegun. Nigeria will be great. Nigeria here will fly. Fly away, Peter. Fly away, Paul. Come back, Peter. Come back, Paul. How far with that? So far. Èpè lọ̀rọ̀ yín gbà. Ẹni èpè nìyín. Do you see why I can never be politically correct on Mayegun's diary political, even if you are hurting, even if you are running mad because of what I say or when I say them? Do you know why? Because èpè lọ̀rọ̀ yín gbà. Èpè. Now those they call Adorumoto, you know who they call the Adorumoto? Now people will say they tell them the truth, they tell them, they are so stubborn, headstrong. Now when they are at the point of death, they will now say, I wish I listened. I wish I listened. I wish I have an opportunity to go and do it again, and I will make sure I don't make that mistake again. No, you won't have another chance. You will be dead by then. So that is why somebody like me don't give a damn how you feel when I'm talking about something that I know that a lot of you will rather self-destruct because of whatever it is you have chosen, this, selective amnesia and all of that. I have no apology. The way I talk or the way I speak about these criminals, including you, they always love to give excuses for them because you always come back. You will come back and say, Mayegun said it. No, it's not biggie. It's not hard to see or hard to tell. You've seen Akume, Abi. The scandal will start soon. He's a thief, and he will prove me right in no long time. So that your feeling, that your rage about what I said or how I said it, they will disappear when this guy is actually prove me right. And then you'll be like, oh. So that's why I don't have any regret or any apology, whatever I call them, or what I call you. They are defenders. No, I don't have apology. I must have my reasons. And this is one of them. criminals, pretending to kind of work for you. If they are caught and the thing no one look like they could see anything anymore, about just faint, Joe. Why are you pretending that you can defend something? Just faint like this guy.
You are still preparing to pay money scholarship. Now, we are aware that we don't have a 2020 budget. From 31st May till date, excuse me, MD is not finished by now. Please.
Just faint. Hey, you don't faint to bring water, you don't faint to, because they are asking him to account for 5 point something trillion naira missing in a ministry called the Niger Delta Niger Delta Development, Niger Delta Ministry. You guys, so you don't die, you won't die, wait see. That was the end of the whole probe. And that was the beginning of off your mic, honorable minister, off your mic. Nigeria here, may Nigeria here succeed. Unso. Same way you are praying that Ashiwaju may subsidy removal succeed. Iwo. Unso. Succeed ko. Jamiu success in. Right? So they saw them earlier today inside the Old Rock. They are the state governors. They want to go and discuss. Maybe they should increase your minimum wage. Few seconds. So now they are reducing the days of work for workers in Nigeria. Businesses are going through hell right now, being able to sustain paying their staff under this new reality. So a lot of you are going to be sacked this coming week. Or maybe you already know. You're already making adjustment and all that, but you know the reality. Others are trying to see if they could make you stay at home and work from home instead of you coming to the office, spending 2/3 of your salary, because they have no plan. I'm talking about the private businesses now. They don't have any plan of increasing your salary. And they are going to increase your salary. I don't think they're going to come up with a minimum wage of 200,000 naira. They won't. So everybody is trying to adjust and all that. And the politicians are meeting pretending that they actually have something. So somebody asked that, what would Peter B have done? And I think that's why they asked him the same question yesterday. And he did kind of use a narrative, and he said, they are saying that I support a subsidy removal. Of course I do. I don't support subsidy removal in this mannerless and then, kind of unsympathetic way. No, I don't want. I mean, he actually likened subsidy to that of painful tooth. Let's say you have a toothache, okay? You know that you have two options, okay? Continue to apply balm, hoping that the pain will numb and go away, or go to the dentist and remove the tooth. Abi? But you know that if you choose that you want to remove the teeth, so you want to remove the tooth at a dentist, you have one option. No, it's not even an option. To remove the teeth for you, the tooth for you, the doctor, the dentist will need to numb that place, because they're going to pull it. Now, when they pull it, because they have numbed your gum or this part of your mouth, you are likely not going to feel, you won't feel the pain, but you feel the pull. You will feel it, but you won't feel the pain. Like when they didn't put any analgesic, ability to call to numb that gum. So imagine somebody use a plier to pull your teeth. Do you know what the pain is? So what would be said it would do was that it will first apply numb, because he personally knows that subsidy is a scam, and he knows that the moment it is removed, the criminals who are benefiting from it, they will likely want to sabotage the economy. So according to him, he said, the first thing is to first determine how much is the fuel consumption in Nigeria. That is the first start. And he knows, because he knows as a businessman too, that half of what they said Nigeria is using every day that prompted this massive subsidy payment is fraud. Nigerians are not using them. And these days they say that, like you know, they've been diverting them to other West African countries to sell them cheaply after collecting subsidy money from Nigeria. Okay? So having that kind of fact, then he personally believed that removing the subsidy by half is the beginning, and the complete removal of it after finding a way to cushion the effect, compared to what Kalu, who probably had no clue or plan initially, but he announced it anyway. Now they are figuring out how to save the looming economic crisis, where they are currently reducing the working days. The government workers are going to be working 3 days a week, and therefore they can tell you, go and do anything else you want to do to make money, because we cannot pay you a full month anymore. We are going to be paying you half salary of half month. We will increase your salary to this price. Sure, you get now. So in Obi's words, for the record, listen to it.
Yeah, there's been this controversy about.
No.
Yes.
Please let him come because you are blocking.
People say you okay subsidy removal in your campaign. Can you give clarity on that?
Let me know what are you talking about? What are we talking about? How can people carry subsidy to court?
No. It's the premises. We are not reporting in court.
People are saying that's the APC, the ruling government, the ruling party. They are saying you okay subsidy removal during your campaign promise. Can you give us clarity on the kind of subsidy removal you're talking about during your campaign?
No, it was not during my campaign. If you have followed me very well, right from the time I was a member of Jonathan's economic management team, I have consistently maintained that we need to remove subsidy. Because for me, it's organized crime. People were just stealing the resources of the country. And that crime has to stop. And I showed my own position in empirical data to show that the amount of fuel we consume is totally far ahead what we are supposed to consume. I showed it in data, comparing with countries like Pakistan, and it's very clear. So I maintained about its removal. And throughout my campaign, go and read my manifesto, I maintained about its removal. If you have a toothache and you go to a dentist, there's a difference between removing your tooth by applying anesthesia, which will alleviate your pain, and just pulling it out. The difference is that I believe it should be removed with conditions, and that condition has to be applied. If I was involved, I would have shown in empirical statistical data how much we are going to save, where we are going to apply it, the gains for the people, so they can, just like I said all throughout my campaign, that I'm going to govern the people by being open, showing them empirically verifiable facts on how the country can be better, and everybody can follow it.
Yes,
That's what I would have done.
A lot of persons are on the same page with you. Agree that the subsidy should be removed. Yeah. But the impact that it's having on the masses especially is the reason why a lot of persons are in support or supposedly in support of protest. So what are those conditions?
That's why I said I would have go and read my data. I said I'll bring back everything, fiscal viability. There's things you need to do. There's things you need to show. Even when Jonathan was removed it, that was when they came out with Shopee, all sorts of things. Yes, conditions. It's there. And I have shown, remember what I said, in verifiable empirical data, statistically, what we are going to save, where it's going to, and everything. The reason why Nigerians are agitating about everything here is that when people say, let's go and suffer, let's go and sacrifice, they don't see the effect of the sacrifice at the end. But if you're going to do it, then do it in an organized manner where the people can see a verifiable plan. And that's it. I did a lot of similar things while I was governor in Anambra State, stopping this to do this. But each one I did, I showed the people in a verifiable manner where we're going to land. Governance should not be supply-driven. It should be demand-driven. You govern with the people. Let the people know what you're doing and explain to them in a clear terms that they can follow.
And on that, I think I'm going to take a few calls and then we can call it a night. What time is it? Okay. So we probably will take a few calls, okay? And I'm going to take a break. So if you're still watching me, you can drop your offering now, like the broadcast before you leave if you want to. But if you are going to be interested in adding your own voice too, the number on your screen, please use that. Thank you very much, Vincent Brown. Yes, we are now over 83,000. We are now approaching 84. But I still want to take us to that. I want you to take me to that 100,000 so that I can come back here and show to you. Oh, look at this silver plague from YouTube. It doesn't really matter because now mad place too. You can have 1 million subscribers and you can wake up one day when they feel like, listen, we have had enough of you, and they can just shut it down. That I will never forget all the time. But while it lasts, let's keep it going. I'm going to go make myself a cup of tea. And when I get back, right, we will take calls. And then we'll call it a night. Don't go anywhere. first caller on the line. Hello there.
My brother.
Abiesio, how are you, sir?
I'm gonna make it as short as you wouldn't even believe it. Maybe 2 seconds. You remember me from calling you. I said, and I still say, we're more than them.
Yes.
We're more than them. We can go on and on and on and on and on, but we're more than them. That's all I have to say.
God bless you. And then which is just to remind them that they may think they have the kind of control today. They may feel so, but nobody has the monopoly of all of this. And like he said, when the time is, when everybody is choking off, we'll see if you are more than them or not. Oh, I just got to, hang on. As he called it, as asking me to kind of, return the call or something, and it drops. So keep trying. If you are that person calling in and then it keeps dropping, I think I have you here. Hello there.
How you doing?
I am very well, hello, Baba. How are you?
How's your family?
Can't complain. How is you? How is yours, I would say? Mohammed, is that you?
I know who's speaking right now. Yeah, this is Mohammed.
It is you. Speak clearly. You know, when you speak, a lot of people want to have what you want to say. And then here you have it. Please.
I want to respond to what Osita said yesterday. And then I want to talk about this Nigeria air issue.
Right.
But let me start with the Nigeria air situation. You see, Buhari's government is a total embarrassment. That guy is really dull. He's dull. His cabinet members are dull. Everything about him is an apology. The Nigeria air situation is a situation where they wanted to take Nigerians for a ride. I don't know, maybe they believe that.
Well, yeah.
Yes. Maybe they believe that. Maybe they believe that because our education system is poor, so maybe they think that people are not smart enough to realize their nonsense. Do you understand? But that thing is an embarrassment. I just wonder how other countries will be looking at Nigeria. And then even if they want to set up an airline, a national carrier, will it just be just one aircraft? That thing is so embarrassing. It's messed up. It's really messed up. And that had this very Minister of Aviation, that guy. I wish have you ever seen the house that he built while he was in power, while he was minister? You have seen it?
I once showed that here, and I thought I could get a clip or a video of it so that I could keep that permanently. But a lot of people probably have seen the palace as well, where they have inner road in his estate that is built for himself. Like they have inner road.
I'm telling you, the funds he used to build that mansion will definitely set up a better national carrier than this nonsense that he did. They are supposed to catch him, jail him for a long time.
We hope.
That's just the truth.
I mean, if they have anybody to use as a scapegoat right now, even if Tinubu doesn't have anybody to punish or use at all, this Kahon shouldn't disappear. But it's Nigeria, Baba. Go on.
Yes. Anyway, and then yesterday, Osito said, based on the fact that I said somebody sent me a text message and all that, Osito said it is not left for me to come on this show to talk about things that are happening, that I should direct my efforts to my inner family and my environment and all that. What Osito does not know is that regardless of my background, I know more about the plight of the ordinary Nigerians than he probably does. And nobody has the monopoly of activism. If Osita knew me personally and he knows my escapades and how I have made it my mission to speak truth to power, he wouldn't be saying such. Sometimes even my forebears tell me that I should be careful. They try to say that I should take it easy, but I've taken it as my own mission, my own calling to speak for the downtrodden. So I think the fact that I'm still on this show contributing shows that I want to understand the plight of Nigerians, home and abroad. This show allows me to understand the plight of the diasporans. And that's why I'm still here. So Sister should not come and start telling me that I should go and be speaking to my family, blah, 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 blah. He doesn't know what he's saying.
Okay.
If he wants to know about me, he can go and Google my name.
No. I mean, it won't be hard for anybody to even Google your name in this sense, right? You know what happened. You personally told me here that it's something you regretted. You shouldn't have put that second name there to make it easier for everybody to say, "Oh, it's hang on, Mohammed." Okay, you've stated your part. Like, let's say you want people to believe that you are misunderstood, you are misrepresented, but nevertheless, you are just somebody who is here to understand and feel the pulse of others too, even though you have been out in your own way of searching for or spreading truth. Now, as you have said yours, what makes this platform kind of, interesting is this. I do my best to try to let people be reasonable, right? Especially when they can smell bullshit from far. So don't blame them that they kind of don't want to give you that space, but they would give you that space. The moment you yourself begin to understand the mindset of people on this platform, okay? Now, you've said yours. You expect them to respond. So I hope you will still be able to continue to kind of endure whatever comes your way. It's not going to be easier, but eventually people will know you for who you are. And once they do, right, you'll be a member of the family too, because here, it's not that we all agreed on one thing. We are not zombies. You get that? A lot of them are here, they disagree with me all the time. Yeah? But whenever they kind of agree, they agree with all sincerity. And they believe that that's how it should be. So, Mohammed, keep watching. Osita may likely call back in. So, I know this is not going to end. It's going to be back and forth. But thanks for that, okay? So, like I said, one thing about Mohammed is that he keeps, or should I say, he keeps coming back, which means everybody here have a right to be suspicious of Mohammed. And at the same time, we also must remember that everybody has their own opinion. And I won't make it look like you don't have right to your suspicion, okay? The first time Mohammed appeared here, Mohammed attempted to gaslight me in my own temple, right here, when he said, and he was asking me, why am I always reporting negative things about Nigeria? Why can't I see something good about Nigeria? Then he said, and all of you watched that day. And Mohammed, yourself, you are watching in case if you have forgotten, right? So that you know where people are coming from for not wanting to trust you. They watched you trying to gaslight Mayegun on his own program. You told me, you said, why am I inciting people against government? Is it because I have Japa? That's what you said that day. Is it because you have Japa? Is it because you know that if anything happened in Nigeria, it won't affect you? You purposely came onto my program to gaslight me. And I've got my own brethren. They won't forgive you for that until they see the sign that you actually genuinely and innocently just expressing yourself. And I can see improvement as well, to be honest. It seems there has been some improvement in your approach. You will get there. And like I said, it is either we convert you to begin to see why a lot of us would never, ever, ever entertain any little idea that these criminals can do something good for Nigeria, even if some of you actually have that belief. On this platform, we have our evidence that gave us that conviction. We will never, ever, ever trust any of your politicians, no matter how much trust you have in them. So you see the contrast. You will catch up at the right time. Hello there.
All hail Biafra, all hail Oduduwa.
All hail Biafra, all hail Oduduwa. Brother, how are you?
Yes, I'm good, Just here enjoying the show as usual, listening to the great how can I say, sermons that you always give, very enlightening. Yes, Nigeria is a clown show. Definitely is a clown show. I mean, what we've seen previous from Buhari, I think Tinubu I'll class him on that one. But just an example with go to Muhammad, it's just a clear example of why we need this show, why we need this platform, because you may start off, not knowing or being ignorant, but by the time you're done listening to what Mayegu has to provide to you and give you, and you digest it, now you start seeing things differently. Yes. See, he's been cured of his ignorance. You know what I mean? Yes. And now you see the approach that he's coming in, he's a bit more, how can I say, humble. So, listen, I'm glad that you got the harsh reality and the treatment that we have given you. Yes. So you can now learn. Maybe you can now pass that on to your other folks that also have that same mentality, of being ignorant to what's facts and what's not. It's obvious that Nigeria cannot be fixed. Nigeria is very corrupt. Everything about Nigeria is just diseased.
Tell them.
So the only way for us to now cure this is to what? Desensitize by your daily dose of Mayegu General.
Yes, sir.
You understand? So people keep sharing and like and subscribe. That's how we spread this message and we start changing the narrative.
Thanks, man.
And coming up with a better way to save ourselves from this hellhole that we put ourselves in. Foolishly allowed ourselves to put ourselves in. You know what I mean?
Unfortunately.
By allowing these criminals to continue to keep gaslighting us and playing us, and while they commit the crime and loot and steal. Let me just leave it this way because I know others are calling in. I just want to give another shout out, Michael. Keep doing your thing. Salute, salute, salute.
Thanks, man. All right. You have a good one, Baba. So like I said, I would expect others to kind of react as well. All right. This is not about Muhammad. Why we mention Muhammad is that Muhammad could be like, sorry, my guy, hang on. Sorry, 1 second. It's not about Muhammad. Okay. It seems that Muhammad has sort of settled into this platform. He knows why he's here and he seems to be getting exactly what he wanted to see. So what we have to work on is that there are many like Muhammad. Do you understand? Their belief, like, don't let us pretend that we don't know this. A lot of them are on this platform and they are here because they have this personal belief that this Mayegu is always talking about how to break Nigeria. This Mayegu, it doesn't talk about how to work together and do one Nigeria, all this nonsense they tell themselves. And their conviction is that maybe Mayegu is interested in seeing Nigeria born, or he wants to see Nigeria at this, but their criminal leaders who are actually doing it are being shielded from that responsibility. Here you get. So if they are bold enough to pick up their phones and call in, bold enough to come here and say, oh, we thought that all of you abroad are trying to make us go and fight our leaders, to the point where they now get to a stage and say, oh, we appreciate the fact that a lot of you abroad are not keeping quiet, because if it's for us here, we have been so misled. Thank you. So if we can get to that, from that to that, so Muhammad can be a go-to example. So don't think we are making it about him. No, there are likes of Muhammad on this platform too. Ignorant, foolish, and completely confused. And some of them selected, or they intentionally became confused. Muhammad is enlightened. Yeah, he's more enlightened. I've seen some of his write-up criticizing the government in Nigeria. But turning around as a writer to come on Mayegun's Diary Politico to kind of accuse me of trying to incite people in Nigeria was a very wrong first foot he put forward. If he hadn't said all of that, he probably would have been your darling. You know what I mean? I've observed that, and I'm just saying it to you, that we have so many people like him. They are keypad warriors. They are in the comment section, typing nonsense. They are not bold enough to pick up their phones and call Mayegu. Yes, old, young, and the rest, they are there. They are commenting. Bunch of cowards. So if Muhammad, who felt like, it's like we are just we don't like all the politicians in Nigeria. There are good ones among them. Then we have to tell Mohammed that we don't give a damn about any good ones because we know the system better. And that's up to him, how he sees us. I thought I should add that. So, yeah, my caller, I'm so sorry I had to keep on hold.
No, it's okay. It's okay. It's
How
okay.
are you?
It's okay. I'm good. And you, Mayogun? It's been a long time. This is dot in the circle, the second.
Dot in the circle, the second. I've got two, and I'm glad you are in.
Yeah.
How are you, sir?
Yeah, I'm good. And how are you? How is the family?
Well, we are here. We are surviving. Thanks for asking.
That's good. Well,
Thank you.
anyway, I've not been calling, but I've been listening. I've been, of course, I'm one of your best followers, so I've been on there and now.
Bless you.
Anyway, yeah, I just have. Let me just nail it on the health. I want to talk about. I just want to involve Mohammed in what I'm going to say. I just want to let him know that most of us in diaspora, we have seen it all. We have seen it all, and that's the reason why we are actually fighting for them to have a better country. Because that's why we are actually fighting for every one of us to have a better country, which is everybody going to their own religion, their own region.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Because Nigeria is a corrupt country. Nigeria can never be good. I was in Nigeria for just 1 week, I think 7 days. I actually went because of something. I had to go do something. Right. But what I experienced in those 7 days, it was hell. I have never seen such thing in my life. And I was just like, this country has, Nnamdi Kanu used to say that this country has a lot to be, a lot that they have to do in the life of people because the people themselves are really corrupt. Everybody in that country is corrupt. I was in Nigeria and I'm just going to say, in Western world where we live, when you are boarding a flight, right? Mm-hmm. And when you want to fly, you can check in online and you can do everything online, get your boarding pass. All you just need to do is just to go and drop your bag and, just go in the flight, right?
Yes.
And exactly the same thing, I flew with KLM. Exactly the same thing I did in Nigeria when I was in Nigeria. Do you know I go to the airport? I think I was at the airport, I think 2 hours before my flight, the takeoff of my flight, yeah. I was there and, people had come early because, Nigeria, because of the hold up and stuff like that. But there was a lot of queue. The queue was so long that, I was sweating at the airport. And then finally, it got to my time, my turn. And these people said they're closing the door for the collecting of bags. And I was like, what? I'm just on the queue and you're telling me so there was a lot of people behind me too, and we just started making noise there. Over there, we were talking and and before you know it, they started walking at the people working for the airline. They started walking at one by one. You could not see anybody to shout on again. So and it was so difficult that I finally found one. I went to meet him. I'm like, look, I've checked in. I have my boarding pass. I have everything. It's just to drop my bag. He was like, hey, you can fly without your bag. Oh, how can I fly without my bag? I had to look for an officer to talk to. Not knowing that the officer, all of them, they all work together. Everybody at the airport, they will know each other. They're working together. Anyway, just to cut the show short, do you know that I ended up paying 50,000 naira? They were about, they wanted to collect $100 from me. It was about money. Yeah. So they were collecting money, not just me. And first of all, they will look how you dress and all these things.
Sorry to cut you, dot in the circle, right? The moment people started paying, all of you who were making sin that they were told that you couldn't, so they started collecting your bags.
Yeah.
Now,
they started collecting money again. I'm telling you. And you see the guy will say, you have to, let me take your bag to the other side. Don't let somebody else, but they're all working together. People are paying money. I saw a woman pay $150 and then I had to pay 50,000. Even the 50,000, I didn't have it. I had to call one of my friends to transfer the money. So I even have the guys, the guy's account number and the name and everything. Even when I came back home, my wife was like, you used to sue that guy. I'm like, who are you going to sue? This is Nigeria, man. This is Nigeria. You cannot sue these people. These people are just corrupt. These people they're all criminals. So these are the reason why we are actually telling Mohammed that Nigeria can never be good. Everybody is corrupt in that country. So I just want to let Mohammed
see if you go and report now. Maybe for example, let's say you put it on social media and say, this is my story. So I have reported this guy. Look at this guy. They've sacked him. 99% of the comments under there, your comment, they will be cursing.
We start to insult me.
Yeah,
we start to insult me. Yeah, I know.
Yeah, what are you doing now? Are you happy now?
Is it only you that you're happy now? They've started him. Are you the only one? Are you the only one that have been flying? Are you the only one? You know, things like that. I'm like, what's going on?
You have made a man, a man and his family jobless now because of how much? Because of 50,000. That's Nigeria for you, unfortunately.
Oh, Nigeria is a crazy country. Anyway, let me leave others to. Yeah, thank you very much and have a good time.
And you too.
Bye.
Dot in the circle the second.
Let me leave
here. Osita, is that you?
Hello.
I knew it. You are never going to let it
fly.
You will never let it fly.
I am the one.
How are you? One name.
The one and the only Osita.
Yes.
Your brother. Your everything.
My friend. Yes.
Yeah,
Osita.
Your brother, your everything. Anyway, I never wanted to call today because I'm really busy in the office. But
right.
I was just listening because he called me and he called out my personality.
This is not going to end. Tomorrow, Muhammad is going to call back.
No, I don't. No,
go on.
I don't have an issue. No, I don't have an issue.
I'm just saying, like it's going to be like on and on. But go on. I will listen to you. Yeah, please.
If he knows my kind of person, my judgment, those people they call comrade in Nigeria, I am supposed to be called a comrade.
Right.
My parents, I am fortunate to have come from a background that we never knew lack. At least from my grandfather that I know, to my dad, we didn't know lack. But because I was opportune to go to a public school. When I went to Bobi College in Yaba, Fadi society, I was able to see things from different angles. Because then I had to follow Molwe. I preferred it. My dad's office is just before Jota, so he can take me and start coming back again. Before I started living in school, I became a border because of transportation. And truth to be told, that was when Chief Gani Fahimi will come to our school before any of his political movements. And I fell in love with this kind of person. This thing that we do here, believe me, it is inborn. It is not as if we just started somehow and say, oh, because we're feeling the heat now, that means we have to talk. No. This is inborn. I have always been like this. That I'm this kind of person when everybody despises a particular person. Believe me, I want to be friendly to that person. I want to show the other people that this person that you're looking at, there's something good about him. It still affects my world. If I was greedy like every other people in Nigeria, with the people I know, trust me, with the help of my uncle, if not anything, I'll be a commissioner in my state, in Imo State today.
Right.
But believe me, that is not my calling. That is not my priority. That is not my own decremental. That is not the way I look at the world. I look at the world that the ability that people will not have to beg to eat. They earn their living. That is my own. These so-called people that you are talking about, because you came in here, I'm sorry, my brother, you are younger than I do. You came in here. What you did was you attacked and attacked and attacked without seeing reasons with us. As if we don't even know what is going on in Nigeria. I live abroad. I've been living abroad for the past almost 18 years. But trust me, I know what happens in Nigeria better than any other person that lives in Nigeria. I feel the pain. Maybe you are still, but now at my age, the position I occupy in my family, I happen to be a breadwinner. And when you are a breadwinner, you might think, oh, your dad has all the money. But inside him, he's always thinking about how to make sure that everybody attends to everybody's needs. I am going through that phase in my life, and that's the reason I can tell you I know better than you are.
And the other,
I know better than anybody.
Tougher for so many of us who have carried the weight of what they are putting on them.
So nobody is against you. Nobody is against anybody because we are not fufude. We are not terrorists. But what somebody could be against is what you stand for. If you look at the situation of Nigeria today, and you are telling us that give a chance, give peace a chance, give a chance, when are you going to get the peace?
Because peace is not just a
word.
When are you? Osita, Shebi, you remember, we have told people that unity is not just a word. Peace is not just a word. There are things
it's not just a word
that actually bring those words alive. If you don't do them, you don't just wish for peace or wish for something. No. They are not just words. Please, Osita, continue.
So, my brother, I want you to look at it in this perspective. Even with the new or the current administration, it is still the same people who have one problem or the other. Questions to answer, financial cases to answer in the EFCC. They are the ones that are still being appointed.
Yes.
So you come here and just tell people that, oh, why don't give this a chance? Why don't you see something positive about Nigeria? If there's anything positive about Nigeria, it is me. It is the people like us are the positivity of Nigeria.
Yes.
Because we are the only ones that can speak. And let the living speak. Is it until we die that we will complain? For the past how many days now, how many people have died? Nobody's thinking about them because of we are saved, because of we could eat. That means we should give peace a chance. That means we should see something positive about Nigeria.
Even
Nigeria can only be positive.
Just manufacture
Nigeria could only be positive. Nigeria could only be positive when the children of the ordinary man would not have to know anybody to obtain good education. When the children of the ordinary man will have not to know nobody to get employment. When the children of the ordinary man will not have to know anybody to get public health. Am I demanding for too much?
No,
you are here. You condemn the person that Abu Terika or whatever his name is. But everybody is in bed with each other. You think some of us here, you don't even know us. You don't even know if our fathers were part of what is happening. But I want to tell you something. Do not think because of, your dad, the name that, your grandfather or your dad, the name is involved in this thing. But I want you to understand that one way or the other, either directly or indirectly, all our parents have been involved in what is happening. If our parents have spoken out the way we are speaking right now, maybe there would have been a Nigeria, or there would have been a better Nigeria. But what we keep seeing is that we keep retarding. We keep going 20 years backward. We keep going 30 years backward, 50 years backward. When is this going to be okay?
Osita,
so, my brother,
thank you
nobody's
so much.
Interested in nobody's interested in who you are. But we are only interested in what you represent.
That's it.
Thank you very much.
Bless you. Osita. Now, I've been accused of not sticking to time, and I'm happy that some of my callers tonight are sticking to time. And I hope this will be same with Prince Judgeman. Is that you?
Yes, so
how are you?
My good general.
Yes, sir.
Hello, Baba. Can you hear me?
Loud and clear. All of us can hear you. Prince Judgeman.
Baba, well done.
Thank you.
Thank you for your Tukano mic. The feel you know be small. Baba, why I said let me call inside is because of this Christian president Kaduna wing. You know that I heard him speaking. It's a big disappointment, my good general. You know, it's unfortunate that I don't know. Like what I can see, like this CAN and PFM, what I can see in them is that They have infiltrated them. All this, all these criminal leaders. They infiltrate all parts, everywhere that they know that people can speak. Like this NLC, you see now that they call for strike. Suddenly they cancel it. They make sure they infiltrate all these parts. You see, that's why the only wing that or opposition that they have in that country is IPU. I get me for now. And Sunday Igboho. That is the only opposition I see to them that has a voice. Apart from all other ones, they've infiltrated everywhere. See El-Rufai talking, praising Muslim this thing.
Yes.
Agenda. He is not a Muslim. Muslims. What I do say is this: Muslims, the Islamic religious people, they should demarcate these terrorists from their religion. They should call them out, demarcate them, because they hide under this Islam to commit a lot of atrocities.
So,
what is saying
politics of religion that doesn't benefit anybody.
Baba, what El-Rufai, if you see El-Rufai, see Shetima, they are promoting Boko Haram agenda. I get me? Boko Haram agenda is what they are promoting because Shetima said restructure under my foot.
Yes.
Him, Boko Haram is pushing for Sharia. And Sharia is domination of all the Nigeria the nation entirely. That's what they want. If you look at Nigerian constitution, Sharia is there. There's nothing like Christianity inside Nigerian constitution.
I mean, when somebody told me that in Nigeria, the constitution, Sharia was mentioned there 40-something times or something. I was like, Sharia, 40-something times? Okay. I'll do it.
Exactly. So you see, El-Rufai is a Boko Haram leader. I get me. He is pushing for domination, Islamization of Nigeria. And now the Kano has told them the only thing they can achieve with this is breakup of Nigeria.
Yes.
There's nothing else they can achieve in it than breakup of Nigeria, because in Nigeria, as you see Nigeria of today, Christians are more in population, but they are pushing to, like this Muslim ticket, is to show to the outside world that they are more in population. That is just the agenda. And this, where we try to come out and start talking, and a Christian who is a leader that is supposed to tell people that this man is a terrorist, speak with a strong voice, because this is how they are keeping quiet. Deborah Samuel was killed and burned to ashes.
That's right.
Tomorrow, another person will be killed and burned to ashes, and they cannot come out. PFM is there, CAN is there. None of them could come together, organize a nationwide strike. I mean, protest. I get me, and make sure that this kind of thing never happen again. But today, that case has died. All right. What I'm telling Christians in Nigeria is that they should stand up and defend themselves because of this their action. I've said I will not be speaking in tongues. Someone will carry AK-47 and come and kill me. Lie, you understand? If you shoot me, I'll make sure I get my own and shoot back. So my good general, should demarcate them. They are not a Islam. I mean, Muslim.
The earlier, the better for everybody to know that Nigeria is not for you. The Prince, you have a good one, Baba.
How many times would they tell you before you know that Nigeria is not for you? Now they never leave you. They have left you behind. Photo, not be juju be that. Sorry, oh.
Hello there. Hello. Okay, I think that is my dark caller that will call me, and they will begin to listen to their TV and waiting to hear their voice and say, okay, yeah, I think it's connected now. Then they will say something. They'll go and
Hello?
listen. Hello, sir. How are you?
Hello. Hello, Baba Maigu.
Yes, sir.
Bilẹ̀ ti wà iṣẹ́ ṣe rà.
Dáadáa wow. Wow.
Mgbọ́ owó rẹ̀ ń pa ìyá Jẹ̀bú ń pa nígbà ìmúbọ̀ ọ̀tọ̀ Ìjẹ̀bú rẹ̀. Ẹni ọmọ Ibo lèmi mo kàn sọ Jẹ̀bú ni o.
I mean,
yeah.
Gbàgbé náà, lè gbàgbé lọ, no matter what. No, we shall. But you see, what we say, came out, káàbà bẹ̀rẹ̀ sí ní sọ náà, right? Àwọn rí ìwọ̀ alára rẹ̀ wé rántí. Àwọn rí rántí, wà bẹ̀rẹ̀ sí ní rántí wọn. Gradually, Ìjẹ̀bú yẹn bẹ̀rẹ̀ sí ní flow. And before you know it, you're back on it. But we'll leave that aside, sir, for now. How are you?
Yeah, we're gentle. You see, the truth about this whole thing is that when we talk about this whole thing, I listen to your program every night. And I think this is my first time of calling in this year.
I can see. Thank you.
What we are saying here, things have gotten so bad more than what we are discussing.
Tell them.
You see, the only prayer we should be praying now, the only prayer we should be praying now, the only name, I'm not even calling Tinubu. The name I've given to him now is Kogbodoku.
Alimi Kogbodoku.
Kogbodoku is his Tinubu's name now, Kogbodoku. Because if anything should happen to Tinubu, we are immense.
Yes.
You see, this Muslim kini, it's not something that is new now. I don't know why people are making noise. It's not something that is new. We knew it all along. At least I'm aware of this about 2 years ago. The reason I wouldn't want to mention my name because I've got an inside information.
Right.
Yeah, they are aware of it. Shivaji is aware of it now. Shivaji is aware of it. At least he told someone that I know. They know what is happening.
At least nobody will pretend that they don't even know. Even their own members who are in their party, they know.
They know.
But they just can't publicly say the way we say them.
They know. They know. Abba. They know. They know. Abba. They know.
You know what I tell people? I told people, I think it was 2 days ago, I said, they are plotting their agenda, Muslim agenda. But if the Lagos where I grew up in, the Tinubu and Gan where I know, they are more interested in where is the money? Where is Nigeria? Where are we going to quickly make our own money too? They're not interested in this, your jihadi, Muslim, this and that. I could be wrong, Baba. Maybe.
Maegu.
Sir?
Maegu. You see those northerners? You will see what will happen between them and Tinubu.
It's a matter of time.
The game they are playing now, Tinubu think he's a Lagos boy. But they are going to tell Tinubu that this is Nigerian politics, not Lagos politics. I was speaking to one of the APC leader. Was it yesterday or 2 days ago? Because I'm not an APC member. They know me. I wouldn't want to mention my name because some people may know.
And please don't give too much clue as well, because you may stop hearing from them again.
So
you may stop hearing. Go on.
Yeah. So I spoke to one of them. These are the people that really helped Tinubu. So I now called the mama and said, Mama, you people campaign for Tinubu. And I said, I've not told anybody about what I'm going to tell you now. He said when he took her to Abuja, that to go and tell Tinubu that these are the people that work so that Tinubu can thank her. I think he said she donated about was it 20 million or so during just for our own area, for the campaign. So they took her to Abuja just so that I can meet her.
Yeah, for recognition. So that
he said when he met, So when she got there and she saw Tinubu, he said they were discussing A, Tinubu will be discussing B. They will be discussing B, Tinubu. So when she left there, all she could do was to pray that along with the people would be there. He said, I cannot tell you this because of the person, but I cannot discuss this outside. I prayed for long, but the Kenny Debe. Don't forget that I spend my own money, but I still prayed for long, the Kenny Debe.
Because about Debe, we are finished in here.
We are done. when people think that all this Kaduna that is cocaine on pump, see cocaine about it, I put in lolly. Masai lot up now. Baba Matu bounce but again. You know, you not start bouncing again. When the cocaine is going down again, they will go and top it up again.
You can always
if you remember
tell,
somebody
Baba,
made
it's not even that, yeah. If you watch Tinubu very well, you can tell this man is on a serious shit that they are pumping into his system just to appear for that period, and they can just move him, you know.
You see this Muslim agenda, if not because of the way if you notice it in Lagos, they did not really talk much when Tinubu was talking about this. Why? The reason why they did not talk too much was that he wanted to take away. What's the name of this guy, Lagos State Governor? Sanwo-Olu. He wanted the guy to do one time.
Yeah.
It was Khan in Lagos that went and begged him. This guy should allow this again. He said no. That Ambode did
1 time
4 years. Sanwo-Olu did 4 years, which is 8 years for Christians. So Muslims should be the next people that should come in.
Right.
But they begged him. Yes. So they begged him that they would support him at the federal. That was the reason why he left Sanwo-Olu. So Sanwo-Olu also needs to. Sanwo-Olu needs to. He also settled the. You know, Tinubu have got a member called GAC. I don't know if you heard about them.
What's that?
His governor's advisory committee. They call them GAC. So those GAC, those are the people that sit down with Tinubu to decide who is going to be the next governor. Both the governor, House of Assembly,
them GAC. I remember them. It's been a while. Some old men and some young guys, they are the GAC member, GAC member. If they don't approve of you, you know if you be governor of Lagos State.
They're not going anywhere.
I know them. But it's Tinubu now Tinubu's men now. It just make them as a
that's what I'm saying.
So he would tell them who he wants. Yeah, he would tell them who he wants. Yeah, go on.
Yeah. So he will not tell them that those committee are the one that will decide. No,
so
they
reject
know what
you will not say Tinubu rejects you. You will say those people rejected you.
Exactly.
He will tell you to go and beg them. I know the trick, Baba.
God bless you,
I've heard about
they understand how they go. You know. So so this so when they were Tinubu now allowed the Sanwo-Olu to get in there, they were like, okay, we'll support so they were not coming out to say, okay, we're not going to support. You know, so we just be, since you've allowed our own person, okay, you can go. We'll just be doing our own. But you know what? Do you know what got some people upset in Lagos is that Tinubu told some people, wait, I will buy Nigeria the way I bought Lagos.
I mean, he told Baba Adebanjo.
Let me talk you.
He told Baba Adebanjo one-on-one when that one said, you know, these northerners, they will not support you. They are deceiving you. In fact, where would you even see money to even do all of this to win? He said, see, whatever money cannot do, Baba, more money will do it. All I need is just your support. And if you're not going to give it to me, no problem. And he left Baba Adebanjo.
Baba, let me shock you. Do you know how much Tinubu budgeted for that election?
I have no idea, but it must
be budgeted $100 billion for that election.
Anyway, Baba, ma take one.
Do you know how much he end up spending?
How much?
Okay. Let me not take your time.
Because I thought you just wanted to drop that punchline and leave.
No,
if you are willing
no. I was just saying that was the budget when he started the campaign, but he ended up spending $500 billion.
Wow, million, no, not billion, but billion EVO. Millions.
Papa, they tell you what happen. I know. If he won't make I send evidence, I will send them to you.
I trust you. Thank you so much. Ma, take another one so that we can round it up tonight. We're almost done. All right. So, Baba, thank you so much. Now, let me take one more. Just one more. And then we can call it a night. Hello there.
Hello, Margaret.
Hey, hello. Hello, Ma. Can you hear me?
I'm fine. How are you?
I'm very well. You know something, right? I know sometimes you probably won't expect me to pick it when I pick the call because there's so many people.
Yeah.
But you know what? I will advise you when you are dialing me, you just don't know when. Oh, look at the phone, not the TV. Because if you are looking at your device, that one is a bit delayed. It's about 10 seconds. No, not up to 10 seconds, 5 seconds delay. And you may just be there like, am I connected or not? But I'm glad that you are going to be my last caller tonight because you've been very much calling all the time, only for me to never hear from you. How are you?
I'm fine, thank you. Thank you. Thank you so much. Thank you for everything that you're doing.
You are so
God. I think I listened to this. Actually, I think I watched yesterday's show and saw this whole thing with El-Rufai. And for the first time, I understood why you've been saying, break up this country, break up the country to save lives. First of all, I'm really curious as to why El-Rufai said the things he said, where he said it. And he can't be ignorant of the fact that he would be recorded.
He was.
I think, well, possibly, and I still feel that they're pushing the needle. They're still pushing something, and they're pushing something. We're not quite sure what it is. But maybe we are, but we're too scared to say exactly. Violence.
Don't think they are planning something we don't know. It's very straightforward. They are people who have the patience of a snake. Okay, they are very, very patient, and if it's going to take them hundreds of years to get whatever
what they want,
nonsense they are putting in their head, they will do it. It's just us that always believe that whatever they are planning, you know what I mean. It's not going to us and all that. Go on, please.
I no longer believe, that I think it's in the best interest of Nigerians or, of the people. And I don't even want to call us Nigerians anymore because
we are still Nigerians.
They don't see us as.
It's just that a lot of us have detached ourselves. Like we have psychologically disconnected from Nigeria, but we are still Nigerians. If we want
all right. You know what? I'm going to put it this way: the inhabitants of the geographical area called Nigeria, right? Because I don't believe that they see us as one Nigeria. They never have, and I don't think they ever will. I think this has always been strategic. I was born and raised in Lagos, right? But I schooled in University of Jos. And even the people of Plateau will tell you that they are not Hausas. Even when people like us would be ignorant and make that statement about them being Hausas, to tell you, we're not Hausas, we're not the same people. And even I had a lecturer who was from Kaduna State who said indigenous Kaduna people are not Hausas.
They are not.
There's I've forgotten. It's been a while now. I've forgotten.
Go on, sorry.
I've forgotten the what they call themselves. I know it starts with N. I can't remember it, so maybe it's pop up in my brain. Anyway, so
I can help you. Right? If you're watching your screen at home right now, you can tell where Kaduna is in the map. Okay. Let me put this one.
No.
Right? You see where
I'm talking about the indigenous people.
Yeah, I'm going to show you their names. I'm going to give you their name. Don't worry. If you look at your screen, right, you see that Kaduna is in northwest, okay, very close to Kano, and at the same time close to Niger or Abuja, share border with Abuja and Nasarawa. That's Kaduna, okay. Now, if you take a look at this one here, you can easily see who are the people of southern Kaduna, right? And then you realize that they are the baggy people. They are. Let me see if I can pick up a few names here. So tiny, but yeah, they come. The GAM and the what do you call it? The TVs, the galas, and the rest who are in the middle belt. You are right.
Exactly. So they're not Hausa people.
No.
Now the reason why I'm saying all of this is because I think that push to dispossess people of their land didn't start today. It didn't even start 10 years ago. It started decades ago. They've been doing it slowly. They were doing it in Plateau State. And because I was there when they did the first riot, where the Plateau people stood up and fought them, right? So they've been slowly trying to dispossess people of their land, but it's not today. And they've been doing it systematically and strategically, right? So I don't think this is going to end. I don't think it's going to stop, but I don't know how far they are willing to go with this thing. Now, I've always been saying that I don't want people to die in the process of trying to break up this contraption we call Nigeria. So I've been reading up on bloodless revolutions where people have stormed their parliament. It's whether or not Nigerians have that capacity to do that. But it has been done. It has been done in places like Manila when they had Marcos the Marcoses, if you remember them.
Yes.
So they called it the Rose Revolution, where their people stormed the parliament for 4 days. And after the 4 days, they couldn't withstand it. He gave up. It was also done in Georgia. It was also done in a couple of other countries as well, right? But nothing like that in Africa. So sometimes I feel that we think that we don't have the might or we don't have the power. I think I don't know who said that. You know, the other pretentious man who said that IPOB is the only opposition. No, they're not the only opposition.
No, they are not.
They're not the only opposition.
As a matter of fact,
the people are the opposition.
Well, go on.
Right? The IPOB is IPOB, right?
Yes.
The people who inhabit that geographical region called Nigeria are the opposition. We are the people who need to stand up and storm the parliament for days. Listen, the truth is, I know much of I don't want to say this, but I know people are going to die. I know. Because the first thing the Nigerian government is going to do, they're going to do something foolish. They're going to kill people. Right? And that's where diaspora is going to come into play. Right? That is where we start to, what they call it, storm the US embassies who want to ignore those things. The whole world, the Saudi embassy, because those are another strategic partners of these criminals that you have in Nigeria. They aid them, they support them, they benefit from that relationship, right? To the detriment of them. And they cover for them as well. Right. Okay, so not just America and the West, we also need to be protesting seriously those United Arab Emirates, all of those places, because those are their partners, right? So, I mean, I say all of this to that we are a strong opposition. It's only whether we are ready to take up those acts, but to do that hard work of going to storm parliament, going to storm those places. They said in 4 days it happened. They broke down. They couldn't do a lot. I mean, once the country is under microscope like that, right? The leaders are going to do the cowardly thing and run off. Because they don't have the might.
Reasons, one thing is that the reason why this has become sort of elusive to Nigerians is because, one moment. Sorry. Somebody was asking me to stay for another 30 minutes. That I shouldn't stop soon because I said you're going to be my last caller. All right. Charm, if I could, 1 second though. It's like I've added 1 moment. Now, one of the reasons why people said that this is not likely going to happen in Nigeria is simply because over time we were, or should I say, this last 20 years, instead of building a country, we have realized that our politicians have been groomers. There are those who are grooming our people to be poor, with the poor mentality. There are those who are grooming them to hate themselves because of the religious differences. There are those who have been grooming our people to hate themselves because of their tribes and all that. All of these are more germane to people who are victims of bad governance this much, right? They are rising up to actually ask for what is right. We continue to elusive or elude our people. But if it happens spontaneously, I look forward to that day that people will be bold enough to actually storm the parliament.
Well, I mean, I don't see how else it's going to happen because, like you said, it is not impossible. It's just for people to believe that we have the power to write this shit. Well, I don't even believe in that. I believe like you believe that maybe we need to be governed. We need to have that regional government and things like that. Going back to the Aburi Accord.
What they are telling Tinubu right now is that he should cancel the 1999 constitution, which he can't. We all know he can't. And they want him to go back to 1963 Republican constitution, which actually gave the autonomy to the regions who got independence in 1960. Now you are Republicans, okay? Now you can do what you want to do by yourself, but it didn't last. So a lot of requests have been made. But none of them is going to come to pass until the people actually decide that they have had enough. People are not going to decide.
Exactly.
You know something? They're not going to decide that they have had enough until these people push them to the brink.
Yes, I 100% agree with you. Now, while El-Rufai might have thought that, making this thing public is strategic or is the right move for him, but what he has also done is sensitize people So people are more aware. If you've been ignorant of that situation, people are now aware that we have a problem. Okay, so and like you said, even people being in power, I see it as I don't know how to a useful situation.
Well,
let's put it that way.
It could be a plus.
It could be a catalyst for the best things that can happen in Nigeria, which is to disintegrate. Because when the people suffer, when the people experience the hardship that is going to be under this person called Tinubu, this clueless person, and if you go by what the last caller said, that this man is how I put it, it's like a walking, talking vegetable. Okay, somebody who is totally unaware of the present, right? And is not even.
On, but nobody's at home. Remember?
Exactly, the light is on, and nobody's at home. So maybe it's like when people say, "Oh my goodness, oh why is Tinubu in power?" Blah blah blah. Maybe we need something like him to happen, so that when it happens and he's successful in the damage that he's going to do, it will not ginger people because people are not yet gingered. We're still talking about working because
Lady Shah, I'm somebody who believes so much that maybe you could get it right in 2023. So you invested a lot. Your emotion.
Yes, I did. Yes, I did. I'm not gonna. Yes, I did. I am not going to lie. Yes, I am not going to lie. I was invested. And I've always hoped that we could have a better country, called Nigeria.
What these guys, what they did to people, those who believed, those who went and participate, right? What they did to them that they didn't know is this. These were the last people who believed that Nigeria may likely work through election. A lot of us don't believe Nigeria will work anymore. You see, what they did to you, the obedient and others who are not even obedient, but they're like supportive of something different. And they cheated you, and they did all of this. They didn't know that they have actually added millions of you to those who now have reasons to say, you know what, Nigeria can work. Sham, I'll let you go.
Let me let you go. Yes, please, so other people can contribute.
No, that's not
Thank you so much.
No, they are trying to blackmail me to stay. I'm not going to stay. I'm going to stick to time, and I will see everybody some other time. Okay. So thank you so much anyway for yours for being part of this. Okay. Now this is where we're going to draw the curtains. I will see you some other time, and I am sorry that I couldn't have another 15 minutes or 20. I'll do that. I promise you next time. Maybe you didn't notice. I need to say this to you before I go. We spent over 3,000 pounds, 3,200 pounds on my new camera, only for me to be experiencing connection problem, which is a cable that is not even up to 50 pounds. Then I did something. I went on to get myself this detachable charger for my old camera and the new camera. Now, if the cable for the old camera is not going to give me what I want yet, using my old one can possibly be test run again where I don't have to keep changing battery. And it worked. I know it's been blinking. Don't worry. I'll fix that. But what happened is that I don't have to get up and fix a running out battery anymore, even on my old camera, until the new one gets really sorted. Now, finally, I kind of feel like, oh my God, something I should have just paid 50 pounds for. I went on to go and pay 3,200 pounds, over 3 million naira for a new camera because my camera was blinking because of a battery. Now I only got about 40 pounds something to fix that. But I am left with a brand new camera, expensive one that will eventually serve its purpose at some point. So now I've always wanted a beautiful camera, lovely one, and I got one, even though it's not serving the purpose yet. And every time I was looking at the camera, when I look at it, I'm like, this looks like a waste. I mean, I could do something with 3,000 pounds right now. Then I'm like, I've always wanted one. There are so many things I've always wanted to do, but I always have an excuse not to do them or find alternative and say, oh, instead of going, instead of doing that, maybe I should do something different because, Then lately, I started feeling like, I'm going to say it to you, my followers, no matter how young you are or how old you are, whatever you want, whatever you love, do it now and don't have any regrets. Yes, go on that vacation. Yes. Spend all that money in that your bank. Treat yourself. Right? Yeah. Pay for that thing that you've always wanted, but because a lot of people told you that is a waste of money, but you always wanted it. Get it without any regret. Yeah. Buy that car if you have that money yet. Buy it. It's not a waste. Do everything that makes you happy right now that you believe that there could be too much for you. It's for you. Do them now. Tomorrow may be too late. For some reason, I just kept feeling like what my grandfather told me. He said, I should live my life like it's going to be my last. That if you wake up every day with that mindset that this could be your last day, what would you do if today is your last day on earth? Would you be mean to people? Would you be amazing, lovely, caring? What would you do if today is your last day on earth? The fact that none of us could actually tell when it's going to be our last, that means you have to use everyone you have. Every day you have as an opportunity to do the right thing, including to treat yourself right. A lot of us care so much about people around us. Family, partners, wives, children. We care so much about them that we don't even think that we deserve the best for ourselves too. I choose to say this to you tonight because we worry so much about things that we feel like we don't deserve. Do it now. Yes, try that relationship now. Yes, go out there, fall in love again. Yeah, you've had broken this and that. Yes, go out there and try that business deal again. That thing that you are so afraid of doing, do it now. Because that will be the only thing you will regret on your dying bed, whether you are young or old. Please. Good night. I'll see you some other time. Everyone.
Mayegun làwa mọ̀ làmọ̀ tó dòdòdò. Mayegun dayari Nayibi #1. Mayegun làwa mọ̀ làmọ̀ tó dòdòdò. Mayegun dayari Nayibi #1. Mayegun ti dé o ọ̀rẹ́ ara ìlú. Mayegun dayari Nayibi #1. Lórí Facebook lórí YouTube. Mayegun dayari Nayibi #1. Gbogbo bó ṣe ń lọ ni Mayegun já wa sí. Mayegun dayari Nayibi #1. Àṣírí ọ̀jẹ̀lú kì í bò níbẹ̀ o. Mayegun dayari Nayibi #1. Bó bá ṣe eré àní Mayegun máa wí. Mayegun dayari Nayibi #1. Ó sì tún ṣe eré wàá gbọ́ níbẹ̀ o. Mayegun dayari Nayibi #1. Mayegun dayari political. Mayegun dayari Nayibi #1. Godfatherism kò sí lọ́rọ̀ Mayegun. Mayegun dayari Nayibi #1. Ẹ farabalẹ̀ sẹ́ o kẹgọ́rọ̀ lẹ́nu o. Mayegun dayari Nayibi #1. Àní Mayegun làwa mọ̀ tó dòdòdò. Mayegun dayari Nayibi #1. Àní ẹ̀sùn ràkì. Mayegun ti dé. Mayegun ti dé. Ọ̀jẹ̀lú ẹ̀sùn ràkì. Mayegun ti dé. Àní ẹ̀sùn ràkì. Mayegun ti dé. Lórí Facebook. Mayegun ti dé. Àní ẹ̀sùn ràkì. Mayegun ti dé. Lórí YouTube. Mayegun ti dé. Àní ẹ̀sùn ràkì. Mayegun ti dé. Bọ́ bàbá gbé wúrẹ́. Mayegun máa wí. Àní ẹ̀sùn ràkì. Mayegun ti dé. Bí fàdìyẹ.
Máyégún máa wí.
Àní ẹ̀ ṣọ́ra kí.
Máyégún ti dé.
Bí pẹ̀sìdó bá rúfin o.
Máyégún máa wí.
Àní ẹ̀ ṣọ́ra kí.
Máyégún ti dé.
Bí gómìnà kówó jẹ.
Máyégún máa wí.
Àní ẹ̀ ṣọ́ra kí.
Máyégún ti dé.
Ọlọ́pàá tí ń gba rìbá.
Máyégún máa wí.
Àní ẹ̀ ṣọ́ra kí.
Máyégún ti dé.
Aṣòfin tí ń rúfin o.
Máyégún máa wí.
Àní ẹ̀ ṣọ́ra kí.
Máyégún ti dé.
Òpùrọ́ olóṣèlú.
Máyégún máa wí.
Àní ẹ̀ ṣọ́ra kí.
Máyégún ti dé.
Ọ̀jẹ̀lú ẹ̀ ṣọ́ra kí.
Máyégún ti dé.
Àní ẹ̀ ṣọ́ra kí.
Máyégún ti dé.
Máyégún ti dé. Gbogbo ọ̀jẹ̀lú ẹ̀ ṣọ́ra kí. Máyégún ti dé. Gbogbo ọ̀jẹ̀lú ẹ̀ ṣọ́ra kí. Ṣùgbọ́n ní bá ti ṣe èyí tó yẹ kí wọ́n ṣe ọmọ bá dèrò ní fi wọ́n níran o.
Máyégún ti dé. Gbogbo ọ̀jẹ̀lú ẹ̀ ṣọ́ra kí. Máyégún ti dé. Gbogbo ọ̀jẹ̀lú ẹ̀ ṣọ́ra kí. Ṣùgbọ́n ní bá ti ṣe èyí tó yẹ kí wọ́n ṣe ọmọ bá dèrò ní fi wọ́n níran.
Wọ́n fowó bẹ́ẹ̀ o Máyégún ó sọ pé wọ́n ò bẹ́ẹ̀. Wọ́n fowó bẹ́ẹ̀ Máyégún ó sọ pé wọ́n ò bẹ́ẹ̀. Oníkanṣá ti ṣe èyí tó yẹ kí wọ́n ṣe fáwọn ará ìlú tó gbé wọn débẹ̀ o.
Máyégún ti dé. Gbogbo ọ̀jẹ̀lú ẹ̀ ṣọ́ra kí. Máyégún ti dé. Gbogbo ọ̀jẹ̀lú ẹ̀ ṣọ́ra kí. Ṣùgbọ́n ní bá ti ṣe yìí tó yẹ kí wọ́n ṣe ọmọ bá dẹ́rọ̀ ò ní fi wọ́n níran.
Kì máa yí ṣe eré ọ̀rọ̀ yìí kì í ṣe ẹ̀fẹ̀. Kì máa yí ṣe eré ọ̀rọ̀ yìí kì í ṣe ẹ̀fẹ̀. Ẹni bá ti lè lẹ́bọ̀ lẹ́rù o ọmọ bá dèrò kàṣà ìtú wọn síta.
Máyégún ti dé. Gbogbo ọ̀jẹ̀lú ẹ̀ ṣọ́ra kí. Máyégún ti dé. Gbogbo ọ̀jẹ̀lú ẹ̀ ṣọ́ra kí. Ṣùgbọ́n ní bá ti ṣe yìí tó yẹ kí wọ́n ṣe ọmọ bá dẹ́rọ̀ ò ní fi wọ́n níran.
Tẹnitẹni ọmọ Máyégún ọ̀rẹ́ ara ìlú mọ̀mọ́ ni mo fọlọ́hún ṣọ́ ẹ̀ bá kìlẹ́bù. Lóòótọ́ olódodo ìlú ọ̀tá ìlú mọ̀mọ́ ni ìwọ ṣá máa ń ṣọ́ra kò sì mọ́ bẹ̀rù. Bọ́tà ń lè rí bóníṣègùn lé káwọn mọ̀mọ́ fi ṣera wọn ni ó ti dẹrùn tí wọn ò gbọ́dọ̀ sì mọ́ bẹ̀. Èèpo ọ̀bọ lọmọ bá dérò tàjẹ́ ò gbọ́dọ̀ jẹ́ ó ti dọba lórí abínú ẹni kò sì mọ́ bùyà. Àìsíwọ́lu ní ẹnìkẹ́ ìgbódì ẹyin lábàrá o ó kó ẹni tó bá dán o àkàmù. Máyégún ti dé. Gbogbo ọ̀jẹ̀lú ẹ̀ ṣọ́ra kí. Máyégún ti dé. Gbogbo ọ̀jẹ̀lú ẹ̀ ṣọ́ra kí o. Ẹni bá ti ṣe yìí tó yẹ kí wọ́n ṣe ọmọ bá dèrò òní fi wọ́n níran o.
Máyégún ti dé. Gbogbo ọ̀jẹ̀lú ẹ̀ ṣọ́ra kí. Máyégún ti dé. Gbogbo ọ̀jẹ̀lú ẹ̀ ṣọ́ra kí. Ṣùgbọ́n ní bá ti ṣe yìí tó yẹ kí wọ́n ṣe ọmọ bá dẹ́rọ̀ ò ní fi wọ́n níran.